In Baltimore, the legendary Boog Powell is out there signing autographs and grilling sausage and breaking hearts. It's the Orioles and the Rangers in doubleheader baseball today. Game one is just about to start, and the Rangers coming off a 6-2 loss last night, trying to reverse a recent trend of losing. Along with Tom Grieve, Josh Lewin, and we'd like to reintroduce you to a guy who's almost Boog Powell big. That is Jason Botts, a guy that I don't know how he is on making sausage and all that, but he is starting to drive in some runs.
Judging by the looks of him, he doesn't eat too much sausage.
No.
I think he's a healthy eater. He's in great shape. Jason Botts has a great opportunity to make a name for himself as a Ranger DH right now. He's playing every day. The one thing he's going to have to show that he can hit the inside fastball. Last night against one of the best pitchers in the league, he got an inside fastball after being behind 0-2 in the count, and he drilled it to left field for an extra base hit. That's only one at bat, that's only one pitch, but it's a good sign, and it's what he's going to have to do the rest of the year to show that he can be an everyday player for the Rangers.
He is one of those Rangers that's going to get a shot down the stretch here to show what he can do. Same for the guy on the mound tonight, Kason Gabbard in game one. John Reinecker, by the way, in game two. But the first lefty is Mr. Gabbard, and he is on the mound against Daniel Cabrera when we come back. Texas Ranger Baseball being brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Bold moves, Ford is the best in Texas. Also by Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. By Jack in the Box, we don't make it till you order it. And by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Rangers. Visit southwest.com. Doubleheader baseball this afternoon and evening. Good seats are still available here at Camden Yards. Rangers coming off a 6-2 loss yesterday. The road trip now stands at 1-3. The guys are excited to head on home tonight. Get ready to start a nice long homestand. But first, the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for game one: Catalanato and Kinsler, Young and Bird, Botts and Cruz, Murphy and Saltalamacchia, Vasquez batting ninth and playing third, Cat playing first base and leading off. There is big Daniel Cabrera out there on the mound. We'll scout him out of here, get back there right after we say that strike one call to the Cat.
Well, the Rico scouting report will show that Cabrera is having a year similar to what he's done in the past. Tough to hit, strikes out a lot of batters, and walks too many. He's shown some improvement. 86 walks, though, leads the major leagues. He's also hit 13 batters. That's second in the major leagues. Career against the Rangers has not pitched that well. He's 1-5 with a high ERA. He's the kind of guy I don't know that he's a lot of fun to hit against. He throws hard, has a real good slider, but a lot of times doesn't know where it's going. Sometimes you catch him when he's got excellent command of his pitches, and he's very tough.
But you're right, with apologies to Iggy Pop, he's a real wild one, wild one. He is a guy that can tune it up there and strike out 9 or 10. He can also walk 6 or 7, sometimes in the same game. Kind of a Bobby Witt thing happening.
He's only won 3 games since June 22nd. They've all come in his last 5 starts, and they've all been pretty good games, too. 2 of them have been against Tampa Bay. 2 7-inning starts where he's only given up 1 hit and 4 hits and only 1 run in the 2 starts. His last start was a good start against the Yankees. He went 6 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, but he walked 6 in that game, got away with it.
He is absolutely, if nothing else, imposing out there. They list him at 6'9" now. He's apparently grown an inch. Last year he was 6'8". They list him at 6'9", 269. From Sammy Sosa's hometown of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Kinsler, 1 hopper. Right-handers don't usually fare very well against Cabrera. There was a stretch over a 13-month period, Tom, where only 1 right-hander hit homered against him. He did it twice. That was former Ranger Alfonso Soriano. I think the weird thing about Cabrera recently, as Michael Young steps in against him, He had a start against Seattle a couple starts ago where he only walked one, and you'd figure that means it's going to be a good start. Well, he allowed 8 runs in that game and lost. Then he turned around at Yankee Stadium, walked 6. But it was a 2-hit shutout. He won 12-0. There's a foul popped out of play by Michael Young. Overall, 9-12 is Cabrera. And you see Michael Young with that batting average a little closer to 300 than 310 now. He's been in a bit of a slump on this road trip. Nails that one towards center field, and he is out of the slump. A base hit, number 150 this year for Michael. And still a legitimate shot, I think, Tag, to get to 200 again, right? He's got 50 to go.
It's legitimate because he's had months where he's had 45 or 50 hits. He's probably going to have to stay hot for the last 6 weeks of the year to get there, but he's done it so many times in the past, it's definitely realistic.
Marlon Byrd's batting average starting to turn north again. It's up to 317. I've got Cabrera pretty consistently about 94-95 with the fastball here on the in-stadium radar here in the first inning. This guy's been known to hit 100. That one was 94 again for a strike. This is some kind of stretch of starting pitching the Rangers are facing. Santana, Bedard, and Cabrera. And Marlon Byrd was saying before the game this reminds him of when he was playing for the Phillies and they'd go to Florida and have to face Beckett and Penny and A.J. Burnett in that order. They said other than that he can't remember a stretch where you're facing 3 guys with better stuff than Santana, Bedard, and Cabrera. Ground ball toward short for Tejada. The underhand flip to get the Orioles out of the inning. It'll be Kason Gabbard on the mound in game 1, first inning, when we return to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Baltimore Orioles are the home team, and the Orioles a 6-2 winner yesterday. Vicente Padilla kind of in trouble all night, and the Rangers unable to beat back Baltimore. Now Kason Gabbard gets a shot at him. Game 1 of a doubleheader. Southwest Airlines starting lineup with Robertson, Patterson, Markakis, and Tejada. Kevin Millar and Melvin Mora. We're going to see the big DH J.R. House in game 1. Ramon Hernandez and Jay Payton rounded out. And the lefty ground ball specialist, Kason Gabbard. His second ever start against the Baltimoreans here. We'll scout out Kason for you momentarily. First order of business, Brian Roberts. That is ball 1.
A Rico scouting report on Kason. Having a good year. It's 5-1 this year. Good ERA. Also a real good opponent's batting average, whether it's left-hand hitters or right-hand hitters. Right-hand hitters are hitting higher, but it's only 226. Friday at the Twins, really nice start. Pitched into the 7th inning. Only gave up 1 run in that ball game. His last 4 starts for the Rangers, 3 of them have been very solid starts. 1 of them, he was on his way to having a good start, but he came out with a sore forearm. He only went 1 1/3 in that start. He went 5 2/3, gave up 3 runs against Cleveland, 6 innings, 3 runs against Oakland, the 1 1/3 against Tampa Bay, and then the start we just mentioned against Minnesota was probably his best start. Looked like he was easily going to get through 7 innings, but ran into a little bit of a problem in the 7th.
Yeah, control thing all of a sudden, right? A hit batsman, then 2 walks, and he had to leave.
Yeah, his pitch total got up there, but good solid start against the Twins.
Roberts floats one into left center field. Marlon Byrd tears after it, but it'll come up short. Roberts trying for second base, and the throw's offline. He's got a double, his 37th of the year.
That ball wasn't hit very hard. It was just kind of a 325-foot blooper, but Marlon was playing him around toward right center field, and there's no way he could get to that ball.
Roberts is 4th in the league in doubles. And the other guys that are on the list ahead of him are pretty much big-time power hitters. Roberts is a leadoff hitter, a base stealer. But I would think the speed, right, Tag, is part of why he has got the 37 doubles.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. I mean, he's a good line drive hitter. He's not a punch and Judy. He's not a little single guy. He can drive the ball in the gaps. He makes really good contact.
This guy doesn't so much. Corey Patterson still striking out too often to be I guess a bona fide leadoff man, but when he does get a hold of it, this is a guy that's got a lot of scouts say he's still got that kind of 20-20 potential for homers and steals. This ball blooped into right field, and it's down in front of Nelson Cruz. Oh, and he hits the runner at first. He hit Patterson with the ball. So Roberts trots home, and down to second goes Patterson. All that was a throw back in towards the infield, but it never got to Catalinato. It beamed Patterson.
Well, Roberts had stopped. There's no need to come up and fire this ball home. He just drilled the runner with it. That'll go as an unusual error. But from Patterson's point of view, at least he was hunched over and the ball just glanced off his back. That's a tough start for Kason Gabbert. Roberts essentially hit a fly ball to left field that fell in. And that was just a little blooper that fell in front of Cruz in right field. Neither ball was hit very well.
Goes as a single, and E9, no RBI. You're right. Roberts had pulled up and stopped at third base, but then all of a sudden it was a game of dodgeball out there. And Nick Markakis will take a breaking ball for a strike. 0-2. Well, the first inning continues to be a real problem for the Rangers. They've been outscored 94-47 in the first inning now. So essentially a 2-to-1 ratio in that first inning. Yesterday, the Rangers were down 3 in the first inning. Vicente Padilla giving up the 2-run homer to Miguel Tejada. Boy, if that's a base hit, this is some kind of inning. Gabbert to the bag, and they got him at first base.
Wow, that was like the play the other day in Minnesota. Didn't look like they were going to get him right there. But right at the end, they ended up doing what they had to do to get the out. Kaysen realized, whoop, I better get there. And they beat him. Good play by Saltalamacchia to scoop it and pitch back to Gabbert all in one motion. That's a pretty nice play by Catalinato. Excuse me, not Saltalamacchia. Cat playing first base. Looking like a second baseman the way he scooped that ball.
Yeah, Cat, his first start at first base in 4 years. It's a position he played with some regularity in Detroit for a season.
That was a nice play. I didn't think Gabbert was going to get to first base, but right at the end, I don't know if Cat yelled for it. Gabbert realized, I better get there. He took 2 quick steps, got to the bag, and Cat scooped it there to him. It was a nice play.
So here's Tejada. He's in a slice one foul back in the crowd.
One correction I should make from last night's game, Josh. When Tejada hit the home run in the first inning, I said it was a hard sinker. What it was a changeup. Not a very good changeup, but it was not a sinker. It was a changeup.
Pitch didn't do that much, unfortunately.
No, it pretty much stayed belt high and right down the middle of the plate.
All right, you make the call right here.
It's hard to tell just looking at it, but looking at it again and seeing the radar gun speed, it was obvious that it wasn't a fastball. I think Padilla probably wished it was a fastball. Maybe Tejada wouldn't have been able to get the good part of the bat on it like he did.
Well, Padilla faced 25 batters yesterday, and 15 of the 25 reached. A couple of them on fielder's choices, but it is just tough to pitch when there's constantly Orioles on base. Back to the mound, and Gabbert will freeze Patterson. And they should get an out here. Saltalamacchia with the tag. A throw down. Oh, almost into center field. Rangers had that one come up and bite him just the other day. But they'll take the out right there. That out in between third and home, out number 2.
You'll take the out, but you need to get that out without the runner going to second base. Run him a little while longer. The third baseman has to come toward the runner a little bit as he catches the ball. Right here, he's standing flat-footed. If you're coming toward the runner, you catch the ball and tag him, and then Tejada can't go to second base. But Patterson makes the run down last a little longer. You make one too many throws, and instead of a guy on first, you got a guy on second. It's not, you know, you don't really notice that, but a base hit right here with, you know, a couple outs, and now you really notice it. It's kind of a fundamental rundown play that you got the guy in the rundown, but you let the guy go to second base. That's not the way you want to do it in the big leagues.
No, not with a guy like Millar coming up next, a guy that can certainly line a single somewhere. And now if he does that, it's 2-0 anyway. Millar will make it a moot point. The Gabbard collects it, and the underhand flip to end the inning. One run is in, though. An unearned run as Nelly Cruz threw one into the back of Corey Patterson. Baltimore leads the first game of the doubleheader. It is 1-0, and it is now hot ticket time from now to the middle of the third inning. Tickets in the Fox box down to $10 for the games against the White Sox on August 20th and August 30th, a Tuesday and a Thursday. Wednesday, by the way, is the day that Tag, you and I are going to be sitting out in the stands.
Do a little sweating that day, by the sounds of it.
Out with the peeps. 972 Rangers is the number to call to get your hot ticket time situation handled. Go up into the Fox box. Say hello to Jim Knox. Now here's Jason Botts, and we were talking about him right off the top. A guy that is going to get a chance, kind of an extended play opportunity to show if there's something there. And the Rangers really do feel like there's something there with Jason Botts. Big switch hitter with excellent plate discipline and the ability to hit the ball a long way. Ball getting away, and Botts didn't initially realize it. He's going to be thrown out easily. No, a 6'9" pitching a 6'6" right there. The clash of the Titans goes to Cabrera.
That's a tough pitch. You've seen several fastballs. The last one was 96, 98 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden a hard slider down and in. You're geared up to try to protect against that 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and then it's tough to lay off the slider. It was tempting, but out of the strike zone.
Nelson Cruz trying to make up for that error in the bottom of the first inning. Now the Rangers tag with only 10 runs scored in their last 5 games. Foul back in the crowd yet again. They've got Cabrera in game 1 and a rookie by the name of Garrett Olson to face in game 2. As we've kind of been hinting at, all due respect to Garrett Olson, he might end up being a great pitcher, but this will be his 5th big league start. And because he is not Johan Santana, not Eric Bedard, the Rangers would prefer to face another lefty, one with a little less experience. And they will get that opportunity. Santana striking out 17, Bedard striking out 11. And if you mix in what the relievers for the Twins and O's did, well, the Rangers ended up striking out 30 times the last couple of games. The team record is 32 over a 2-game period. Cruz hacking that one towards right. Pitch it kind of hung a little bit. That is out number 2. And you know, talking about what the Rangers have had to deal with out there on the mound, that gets us to our Geico quote. Ron Washington says the more you face those guys, the better you're going to be. You've got to figure it out no matter who's out there. They don't have perfect records. They can get their tails kicked in.
Just doesn't happen very often.
No, but you know what? I mean, it's the kind of thing where if you want to be a playoff team, all right, let's say the Rangers get to the playoffs next year. You're going to be facing teams that have quality starting pitching. You're going to face a Santana or a John Lackey or somebody like that. And you might as well take the test drive now. That one blown behind Murphy at 97.
You know, I would rather have seen a guy once, twice, 3 or 4 or 5 times before I faced him. But for the great ones, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, Cabrera's a pretty good one. He strikes out Murphy. Couple strikeouts in the inning. Bottom of inning 2 coming up in game 1. Texas Ranger Baseball being brought to you by your Texas Dodge dealers, also by Geico Insurance and by Rico. Getting set for the bottom of the 2nd inning here, the birthplace of Babe Ruth is Baltimore, Maryland, and the Babe Ruth Museum is a can't miss if you happen to be in the area coming to a ball game. One of the developing legends here in Baltimore, not exactly of Babe Ruth-ness, but Melvin Mora is a guy that has become a fan favorite, a guy that hit .340 a couple of years ago. No Oriole has ever done better than that. And think of all the great Oriole hitters that have passed through here. Mora's going to turn on this one, send it deep in the left field. Back at the wall is Murphy. He's got it. So one long out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Talking about the Orioles, Tom, one thing that we know going forward is you look at this last swing here by Mora.
He hit a little bit off the end of the bat. Had the right trajectory for a home run, but I don't think he got it on the sweet spot.
J.R. House coming up next, the former West Virginia Mountaineers quarterback. He's going to try out Murphy as well. He's going to come up short. Going to say, Tom, the Orioles have made it official. They've got a full-time gig now for the used-to-be interim manager, Dave Tremblay, a guy with no professional playing experience, but plenty of professional managerial experience. His only playing experience, he only played a year at Brockport State in western New York, in between Rochester and Buffalo. That's it.
Well, judging by all the comments that the players made about him, it sounded like they made the right decision. He demands that they all stretch at the same time without excuse, demands that they're all on time, doesn't treat anyone differently, seems to have gained the respect of all the players for that. The team has played better since he's been here. So judging by all the indicators, it looks like a good decision by Andy MacPhail and the Orioles to give him the full-time job.
There's a foul by Hernandez. Nelly Cruz is going to go over and grab it, and that'll end the inning. Oh, Nelly let one fall in front of him in the 1st inning. That one was headed foul, but Cruz made the play. More on Dave Tremblay when we come back. It's 1-0. Nice. Chevy's most dependable fan, Travis Hughes of Maypearl, and it's your chance to win season tickets for next year. If you go to dependablefan.com, tell us why you deserve to be Chevy's most dependable fan. Jared Saltalamacchia will lead it off here against Daniel Cabrera. 1-0 Baltimore in game 1 of our doubleheader. Josh Lewin, Tom Grieve with you. We were just talking about the Orioles making an announcement today about the future of their manager. Saltalamacchia flies to center field. Well, Dave Tremblay's audition lasted, I guess, a little more than 2 months, and that was long enough for Orioles president of baseball operations, Andy MacPhail, to decide that Tremblay is indeed the right man to not MacPhail in the drive to turn this thing back around. The Orioles haven't had a winning season since 1997. And Tom, I know you share my opinion of Andy MacPhail, like a very bright baseball guy. I think Peter Angelos, the owner here, made a good call to bring him in.
Yeah, I don't think Andy would have taken the job if he didn't have the assurance that he could run the baseball operation the way he saw fit without interference from anybody else. Can't imagine that he would want a job where that would be the case. And if that is the case, then I would think that the Orioles' days of having losing seasons will be put behind him in a relatively short period of time. And he is an excellent executive.
Well, and it's funny, you know, they were talking about it in the local paper here today, that really one of the first things Andy MacPhail did as an executive with the Minnesota Twins about 20 years ago, as Vasquez is going to send one soaring into right center field. That'll be out number 2. Andy McPhail took kind of a flyer on a then young Tom Kelly. 36 years old was Tom Kelly in the mid-'80s when Andy McPhail took the reins of his first big league team. Ray Miller was fired, and Tom Kelly, a guy with just a shade of big league experience under his belt, was brought in, and a year later they were winning a World Series.
Yeah, I think if you asked Andy McPhail, he would probably say he didn't think he was taking a flyer, but I think the perception of other people who didn't know Tom Kelly was probably that they were taking a flyer. But you can go back a number of years with the Orioles when they hired Earl Weaver. Earl Weaver really wasn't a household name.
Yeah.
He was a very successful minor league manager for a long time in the Orioles organization, but he wasn't a guy with a lot of big league experience or a former star big league player. It was kind of an under the radar name, except for the people that knew him in the minor leagues. I think one thing that's been proven over the years over and over again is you don't have to have been a big league star player. In fact, you're probably better off hiring a guy that wasn't a star player
right.
if you want to make a distinction to be your manager. There's been some star players who've been good managers, but for the most part, if you believe in a younger guy or even an older guy who's had minor league experience that he can come up and lead your team, give him a chance to do it. You don't have to have a guy just because he's been in the big leagues before.
So you're right. Earl never played in the majors. Sparky Anderson played 1 year in the big leagues, hit .218. Whitey Herzog wasn't exactly a star big league player, nor was Tony La Russa. Kinsler lofting one in back of second base, and Brian Roberts had it fall under his glove, and now he's got to race after it.
He just plain blew that play.
Too much drifting?
Yeah, he didn't go after the ball hard enough. He either misjudged it. It certainly wasn't hit hard enough to be misjudged. I think he just thought he was going to make an easy play. He went back on the play that I'm sure he would say a little leaguer can make that play. He just missed a routine pop-up. Good player too. He's an all-star, but he didn't look like one on that play.
Scored a single, yeah.
I guess he played it into a single, but I don't know if he even touched it. If I'm the pitcher and Michael Young hits a 3-run homer right here, and I get tagged for 3 earned runs after that play, I'm not going to be real happy. I'm happy if I'm Ian Kinsler, though.
Michael Young takes inside. You noticed we will be checking in with Michael later, part of our Dodge Texas truck stop. Right here, Michael's got a chance to get the Rangers, if not even, on top. Marlon Byrd on deck, 2 out. You're just talking about Earl Weaver, Tom, and a guy that played in close to 1,500 games in the minor leagues, but never did play at all in the big leagues. But he managed the Orioles from 1968 uninterrupted all the way through 82. Came back for a second tour in 85. Young with a bouncing ball, and the Rangers strand a couple here in the top of the third. It is the first game of our doubleheader this afternoon / this evening. Baltimore leading game 1-1. Baltimore leads by 1 as we get set for the bottom of inning 3. And the first pitch coming in to Jay Payton. And Jay Payton's going to send one to center field as we tell you about Rangers backpack night. Everything happening all at once. The Rangers take on the Mariners. Then the White Sox come in on this homestand. And yeah, Friday against Seattle. The first 7,000 kids 13 and under get a back-to-school backpack. Compliments from our friends at Dr. Pepper. 972 Rangers is the number to call to get your tickets, or go to TexasRangers.com. You got 4 games with Seattle coming up, 3 with the Chicago White Sox. And the White Sox, all of a sudden, Tom, they are just in a battle to stay out of the cellar in the AL Central. The Royals are beating the White Sox today, so the Royals would be in a tie with Chicago.
That's a final. They lost 7-6.
Roberts serves one into right field. He's now 2 for 2. And definitely a threat to be running. The guy that's got 37 steals. Yeah, that game has just gone final. 7-6 Kansas City. And the White Sox, boy, you talk about a lost season, Tom. They're 56-70.
That's a team not getting a real bang for the bucks that they're spending. That's for sure. A relatively high payroll.
Yeah, they could.
It's not that far removed from being a really good team.
There are your Jack-in-the-Box standings. The Indians and Tigers played a terrific down-to-the-wire ball game yesterday. And that appears to be the race. The Indians and the Tigers. The Twins are still just hanging in there. They won their game today. Had a 7-run first inning, as a matter of fact, did the Twins. They beat the Mariners 8-4. And the Mariners are still hanging in there in the West. Now 2.5 behind the Angels. How about the Angels last night, by the way? Did you see that? 18-9 over the Yankees. Sharply hit. Whoa, and a fumble. Kinsler recovers, does get one out, but he'll be the first to tell you that should have been a double play.
That's the first ball in a long time that's been a relatively routine ball that Ian hasn't made a routine play on. He's been playing some great defense.
25 games in a row without an error, and this will not be an error since they got the one out, and you can't assume the double play.
At the very least, they would have gotten a lead runner. Now Patterson can run and very seldom hits into a double play. But if you're going to turn a double play on him, that's probably the kind of ball that it would take.
Nick Markakis, the batter. Mentioned the Angels and the Yankees last night. Garrett Anderson had about a week and a half last night. He had 10 runs batted in that game. A-Rod hits 2 more home runs, and he's just kind of a footnote in an 18-9 win.
Essentially, Garrett Anderson had a month. He had 40 knocked in before he had those 10.
Yeah, that's right.
So for him, it was about a month's worth.
Well, the Yankees having some issues out there in Anaheim. That ball belted into the alley. And the inability to turn the double play costing the Rangers a run here. It's an automatic double as it skips up into the crowd. Nick Markakis, the only Oriole to play in every game for these guys. And he stands and delivers right there. The double into left center.
That's one of those runs that's an earned run. But really, if Ian catches the ball, even if they don't get a double play and flips it to second base, there's a man on first. Of course, if it's Patterson and Markakis hits the same ball, he probably would have scored on it anyway. But I think there was a pretty better than 50-50 chance they might have turned a double play on.
Well, and actually, since the ball bounced out of play, had he not stolen the base.
That's right. He wouldn't have scored. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
second
right.
and third.
You're right.
And this is a rubberized warning track. In fact, everything that rings this infield and the outfield, it looks like dirt. Looks great on television, but that's high bounce rubber all the way around here. Sure looks like dirt, doesn't it? But that's the real dirt right there near home plate. Big cut by Tejada, but he's going to twist it into a still gathering crowd here at Camden Yards. People are just getting out of work, realizing there's a ball game, 2 for the price of 1, starting to fill in the empty seats a little bit. Starting to fill their mouths too. In right, up within his cruise. He's going to stand and fire. It is going to be not in time. Throw down to second base is going to be not in time.
That's one where Nelly had time to throw him out at the plate. If he makes an accurate throw, then they get Markakis at the plate. But the throw was so far up the line toward third base that Saltalamacchia couldn't reach behind him and make the tag. It would have been, actually, it's a pretty easy play when you've got an arm like Nelly Cruz.
Yeah.
If you can throw like that, then you've got a pretty good shot to throw the runner out if you make any kind of a good throw at all.
And again, these are earned runs. And what won't show up in the box score is the fact that the Rangers probably should have turned, or at least had a good shot to turn a double play. The inning allowed to continue when 2 runs are in. Now you got to face a guy who's been on base 47 games in a row. Coming into this one, Kevin Millar.
Well, that's such a random thing when you look at guys who have had long streaks like that. Orlando Cabrera is one that has a huge streak like that.
Ryan Klesko is another one who had something like a 60 gamer, and it's like, where did that come from?
Yeah, Cabrera doesn't walk that much. He's having a good year this year as far as hitting over 300, but you wouldn't expect him to be one of those guys. And Millar is a 260 hitter. You wouldn't think he's going to be a guy that has a streak like that. But on the days you don't get a hit, you either get hit by a pitch or walk. And you just put together a streak like that.
Millar's an interesting guy. Undrafted out of Lamar University and banished to the Independent Northern League at the start of his career, playing for Bill Murray and Mike Veeck, playing alongside Darryl Strawberry at the time as a St. Paul Saint. Kind of the last refuge of the desperate up there. But his scrappy style of play, his ability to put the ball in play, carried the day. And here he is hitting 5th in the order for Baltimore. Gabbard got him. And Millar, the final out here in the 3rd inning. But 2 runs are in. We're at the end of 3. The O's by 3. We'll go to the 4th inning. It is time for the Aflac trivia question, brought to you by Aflac Insurance. We were talking about Kevin Millar reaching base 47 games in a row. Who's got the Rangers record for most consecutive games reaching base safely? Millar is approaching the Orioles record tag. The great Ken Singleton, one of the fine gentlemen of the game, one of the great power hitting switch hitters. He had a 49 game streak. Ken now one of the broadcasters for the Yankees. There's ball 2 to Marlon Byrd. Rangers did make one roster move today, which I thought was kind of interesting, Tom, but it does make sense. A.J. Murray with those 3 very strong innings yesterday. No way he was going to be able to come back, right, after 3 innings and pitch at all.
Not today. No.
So no doubt we'll see A.J. Murray again, but just to get an extra body here, the Rangers went and called up Travis Metcalf. And Travis available for duty. Can play some 3rd base. So A.J. Murray gets option down at AAA. And again, I'm sure we'll see him again. But Travis Metcalf, who hit .230 for the Rangers in about 3 dozen games earlier this season, he's back.
Yeah, that option to Oklahoma City had nothing to do with performance. That was A.J.'s best performance. Best outing as a Ranger. Looked good last night.
Upstairs to Bird, 3-2. Well, again, I mean, here we are, about 35 games left. And it's all about seeing who's got what to maybe be a part of what's being put together for 08. As soon as the Rangers dealt Kenny Lofton, that opened up center field for Marlon Byrd. We're seeing what Marlon can do out there. That's one example. Jason Botts on deck. Finally brought up when the Rangers couldn't move Sammy Sosa. And Sammy has stayed on the team, has become more of a part-time player. Check swing, ball 4. We've been waiting for that first walk from Daniel Cabrera. There it is. think one weird thing about Cabrera this year, Tom, he started this year with a 9-strikeout game. His very first game, the second game of the season, was a 9-strikeout game. And you figure, wow, if he's striking out 9 kind of right out of the chute, now he's going to have a big year. But he's yet to get back to 9 ever since that very first ball game.
He gets his share of strikeouts. He's 13th in the league in strikeouts. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but he has the potential to be. He's had 15 games this year where he's walked 4 or more batters. And as we've already said, he leads the major leagues in walks.
Wave and a miss by Botts. Well, the PA man here, of course, used to be the great Rex Barney. It was all about the hard fastballs, but he was never quite sure where they were going back in his playing days with Brooklyn. I think Rex would have liked Cabrera quite a bit. Rex used to pitch in Fort Worth, too, for the Cats. They say he once walked 16 in a game for the old Fort Worth Cats in the 50s, but he struck out 10 in that game.
Guess they weren't keeping pitch counts back then.
No. We've talked about Steve Dalkowski before, Tag, and he was a lefty in the Orioles organization. I guess before you were playing, right? He was more like early 60s.
Yeah, I've heard all the stories about him, but I never actually saw him for myself.
I'll give you some of his numbers in just a moment here. Botts will take inside. 1960 out in Stockton, California. The 5'10" glasses-wearing lefty Steve Dalkowski, 170 innings, 262 strikeouts, 262 walks.
There weren't many guys that wanted to hit against him back then in the minor leagues. The lights were not up to major league standards, not even close to it. So you had a hard time seeing anyway. Then you've got a guy throwing that hard and that wild. That was not fun.
They say he once lost a one-hitter 9-8.
No telling how many pitches he was throwing.
No kidding. Well, Cabrera did not want to become the Dominican Dalkowski. He needed to harness that terrific fastball, throw some more strikes. And as you said, Tom, he's still got issues. He leads the majors in walks, but it's no longer the kind of thing where you worry about him walking 6 in 1 inning, as he was doing when he first came up. Tejada knocks it down, and he will go to first base with it, and that was not going to work for him.
Thought he had to play at second.
I was sure he had to play at second. I'm with you, but for some reason he threw cross diamond. That does go as a base hit for Botts. I think if he would have looked over his shoulder at second base, he would have seen he had to play.
When you talk about Cabrera's control problems, and he does have control problems, he's a kid that is still only 26 years old. He has at least parts of the last 3 years in the big leagues, most of the last 3 years in the big leagues. So he's got, after this year, 4 years under his belt, but he'll still only be 26 years old at the end of the year. And when you see that kind of potential, what he can do when he does throw strikes, you just have to keep throwing them out there and hope that it clicks for him.
Boy, this is not the best game ever yet for Nelly Cruz. A couple of throws that didn't go real well out there in right field, and with 2 on, nobody out, swings at the first one and pops it straight up for the first out here in the 4th inning. Now we'll see if the Cam Lowe look-alike David Murphy can keep the inning hot here. Cam's been sent ahead, by the way, back to Arlington, getting ready to pitch tomorrow. Murphy's going to swat at one himself and foul it. So we can't show you Cam Lowe since he's already heading back to Texas, but we'll show you his look-alike here. There's David Murphy. It'll be Lowe against Jeff Weaver tomorrow. The Rangers are taking on Seattle back at the ballpark. Murphy, the former Baylor Bear. I was reading his old bio that I guess he filled out when he was at Baylor, Tom. It said personal ambition. He said he wanted to run with the Bulls in Pamplona. I'm kind of hoping he's revisited that. But
I know this is a big leaguer. You're right. I hope he decides not to do that.
One thing to say that in college. Chopped out for the big guy to handle, and a shot put. Oh, safe the call.
His foot off the bag. Came off the bag just as the runner got there. I thought the ball was there in time, but it looked like Millar took his foot off the bag. Trying to maybe make it a little bit quicker play for the umpire, but the umpire saw the foot come off. Let's see if that's what happened. No, I guess he just beat it. Foot didn't come off. See if we can see from this angle. Oh, I think he beat it. Good hustle right there.
To load him up for Saltalamacchia. Well, that's 2 infield hits in the inning. Rangers had 2 infield hits yesterday as well. Now Cabrera just comes with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. The Rangers try to pick up Bird from third, Botts from second, and Murphy over there at first. Now Saltalamacchia finally exhibiting some of that power that we've certainly heard a lot about. When the Rangers were in Minnesota, blasted a couple of home runs. One of them to the upper deck.
Yeah, that first one to the upper deck. That wasn't just a lofted fly ball either. That thing that was a missile. That was really launched. No telling how far that would have gone. And you can tell Cabrera's got a good fastball because a lot of the left-hand hitters are getting pitches in the strike zone, but they're late. Not quite getting the head of the bat out.
Do you prefer to face a guy like this in game 2, or does it matter? I mean, you're kind of rolling out at 4 in the afternoon.
I don't think it really matters that much. No. I mean, when the game starts, you got to be ready to play, whether it's afternoon or night. I think there might be some times where you see the ball better in the day than you do at night, but I think for the most part, if he's throwing well, making good pitches, you're going to have a tough time against this kind of stuff in the daytime or the nighttime. If I'm going to play both games of a doubleheader, I'd rather see him first, just so I can kind of get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Maybe feel like the next game be a little bit easier.
Off speed outside, and the Salties work the count full with the bases loaded, and the Rangers down by 3. On the ground, a base hit up the middle. 1 run already in. Here comes Botts rumbling towards the plate. He's going to score. It is 3-2.
Good at bat for Jared right there. Worked the count. Late, got it narrowed down to where he was 100% sure he was going to see a fastball. He got a low fastball and drilled it up the middle. Good job of hitting right here.
Well, Jared's very first at bat as a Ranger was exactly this as well. Bases loaded and a 2 RBI base hit right up the middle. That was in Cleveland. And now here in Baltimore. Same result, 3-2. And it's 2 on for Vasquez.
Oh, the leadoff walk set that up. Marlin had the leadoff walk. And then on the ball that Botts hit, it looked like Tejada had a play at second base. He chose to go to first, and Botts beat it out for an infield hit. Strike right back. Orioles got up 3-0.
Leo Mazzoni, the well-respected pitching coach, going to go out and try to settle down Cabrera. I think conventional wisdom was that with Mazzoni's arrival, boy, if anybody could harness all that talent from a guy like Cabrera, it would be Leo
Hadn't quite harnessed it yet. He's had some games where it looked like he'd harnessed it. But overall, when you've had the kind of year he's had, he's still shown a lot of inconsistency. Has the second highest ERA of any qualifier in the American League. He leads the league in walks. He's second in hit batters, ninth in wild pitches. He's given up a career high 19 home runs. He struck out a lot. 127 strikeouts is solid. He's had some really good games under his belt, but day in and day out, he hasn't yet gained the consistency that the Orioles want to see.
There's 28 pitchers in this inning already. He's still only got the one out. Vasquez hits it in the air down the line. Bidding for the home run. He has got the home run. 3-run shot for Vasquez.
Well, Vasquez is the one guy on the team that's gotten the head of the bat out both times on a fastball. First time up, he hit the ball well to center field on the good part of the bat. And that time Cabrera gave him a good fastball on the inside part of the plate, and he crunched it into the street behind the right field wall. That pitch is a borderline strike on the inside part of the plate. It's not that easy to turn on that pitch when it's going 95 miles an hour. But Ramon launched that ball.
Well, a couple things about that, Tag. I mean, the last two homers that Ramon has hit, they've been off guys that throw real hard and are tough to actually get home runs against. The last one was J.J. Putz, and it was that swing against Putz. That was his last extra base hit. That was about a month ago. Vasquez had gone to 49 at bats without an extra base hit. Catalinato over to third at pinballs. Tejada's got it and no throw, so everything's going right for the Rangers now. That's going to be an error charged over there to Mora, and still only one out in the inning. The Rangers have scored 5 times.
Funny how a game can take a turn like this. Through 3 innings, Cabrera was pretty much in charge. He hadn't walked a batter. He'd struck out a couple. Rangers had a couple of 3 hits against him, but he was in pretty good control with a 3-0 lead. Well, then all of a sudden he came out and walked Marlon Byrd. It's been downhill since.
And you know what, Tom? I mean, it's kind of a subtle thing, but give Marlon some credit. That was a borderline tough pitch to take. I mean, it was a 3-2 count, and that pitch didn't miss by much at all. But Marlon had a great at bat, took that 4th ball. He had the infield hit from Botts. He had an infield hit from Murphy. Real nice at bats by Saltalamacchia and Vasquez, and all of a sudden you got 5 on the board.
Well, Cabrera came into the game with an ERA close to 6 and 1-5 against the Rangers.
Mora gets to try it again. This time gets Kinsler. On the play, Catalinato to second. Well, 3 pretty easy innings, you're right, for Cabrera. And then right after the frustration of the Rangers giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd that maybe they shouldn't have given up, well, Cabrera gives back 5. Rangers have batted around. Here's Michael Young. When Cabrera pitched against the Rangers last month, Tom, he went 6 innings, allowed only 2 runs. With runners in scoring position, one constant has been the fact that Michael Young, ever since he's been in the big leagues, has been outstanding. Over the last 20 years, you got Helton and Ichiro and Pujols, the only 3 guys doing it better than Michael Young. Leo Mazzoni's made the call down there, get the bullpen ready. As Cabrera really struggling here in the 4th. Brian Burris warming down there. Young with a hot shot. It's off the glove of Cabrera. Slowed down, and Roberts throw in time. That's the first break the Orioles have gotten in a while. It's a tough break for Michael Young. But the guy that plays just over the shoulder of Michael Young in the field, Ramon Vasquez, the third baseman. The big 3-run home run. It's 5-3. Case and Gabbard deals, and we are underway in the bottom of the fourth inning with that 5-run top of the fourth still kind of ringing in everybody's ears here. Case and Gabbard now going after Mora, dropping down a beauty of a bunt. He belly flops on into first base for no good reason.
It was a beautiful bunt, that's for sure.
I guess he was trying to stick the landing over there at first base, but no need to dive when there's no throw coming. Great bunt.
It's a good pitch to bunt, too. Outside corner, down low. Perfect pitch if a right-hand hitter wants to drag a bunt down the third baseline. It's a little harder to do it if it's inside. You have to step back. You don't get out of the box quite as well. But if the ball is, it's easier to bunt a ball that's low than it is a ball that's high. So if it's down and away, you take a step back and you're going toward the ball, toward first base. You get a little bit of a running start when you bunt the ball. You get to first base a little quicker than you do if the ball's inside.
There's a strike to J.R. House. Started the year at AAA and started with a 14-game hitting streak down there. And a line shot to left for an out last time up. Breaking ball missing in. College football fans will remember the name of J.R. House probably. He was supposed to be a big-time quarterback at West Virginia. They had a rotator cuff injury. I think he threw something like 2 passes in his career at West Virginia. Decided to make baseball the big thing.
If I remember right, he was a kid that played football in high school in Florida. And
yes.
Baseball at a different high school because of, I guess, the level of competition.
Yeah, exactly. His dad, Roger House, he used to pitch at Marshall in West Virginia. Had dual residency in both West Virginia and Florida. Ball getting away on a check swing. Saltalamacchia, and on the check swing, they're going to say that's the strike on House. So he's out. That goes well. Saltalamacchia had to go get the ball. But when he turned back around, he found out that was strike 3. Back to our Aflac trivia question. The Rangers record for most consecutive games reaching base safely. Talking about Kevin Millar making a run at that for Baltimore. Aflac! The Rangers record, well, Millar would already have it. Millar's at 47, Julio Franco at 46. Julio Franco was 46 3 years ago. He still wants to be playing ball.
Well, Julio's a good choice if you had to pick a Ranger for someone to do that. Other guys would be Mike Hargrove would have been the guy I guessed for it, a 300 hitter who walked 100 times. Toby Harrah, another guy hit close to 300 and walked 100 times, would be another good guess. Al Oliver didn't walk quite as much, but hit 320.
Just to put Julio Franco in perspective, Tom, it was, well, the year that he broke in, Ron Kittle was Rookie of the Year. Ron Kittle's been retired for, what, 10 years?
I couldn't tell you how long he's been retired.
Maybe 12? And Julio is still having at it. The Braves, we were talking about this the other day. They don't want to just flat out say goodbye to Julio. They have asked him to accept an assignment down to the minor leagues, and I guess they can bring him back up September 1st, right?
Yeah, for sure. I know when we had Julio back in, I guess, the late 80s, early 90s, it's hard to imagine the guy was going to play 17 more years after that.
I've just been told Ron Kittle retired 16 years ago. There's a strike to Ramon Hernandez. Well, as the Braves, I mean, the Braves have a pretty good first baseman right now in Mark Teixeira. They're trying to chase down the New York Mets, trying to stave off the Phillies as well in the NL East. But they could do worse than have Julio coming off the bench in September. Breaking ball, a strike. To a slumping Ramon Hernandez. Braves are at Cincinnati tonight. They are 6 back right now in the NL East. Phillies a little closer. They're 5 out, though. It looks like Cole Hamels is going to have to go on the DL.
That's going to hurt.
Chopped foul by Hernandez. I guess if we're looking for a National League matchup tonight, we're going to have to stay up pretty late to really look at it close. But Milwaukee's at Arizona tonight. And Brandon Webb, who's got that scoreless streak at 42 innings, making a run at the Oral Hershiser record of 59 innings. Brewers have Jeff Suppan against Brandon Webb tonight. Another ball tugged foul. The Cubs are at San Francisco tonight. And the curveballer Rich Hill against the other curveballer Barry Zito. The Giants have completely wiped out. They've got about the same record the Rangers do. 16 games under. They're 16 out in the NL West. This time it's chopped to Young, to Kinsler. And the stretch by Catalanato. The Rangers turn the double play. Well, the bunt single by Mora. And then that's erased on the DP. 6-4-3. We're at the end of 4 in game 1. And the Rangers on top by 2. This one's the first of 2 tonight, and our upcoming telecast game 2 brought to you by Panda Express and their delicious orange chicken. Couple lefties, John Reinecker and Garrett Olson will match up. Rangers have Case and Gabbard going in game 1 right now. And Ron Washington saying, Tom, they wanted to keep Case and Gabbard kind of on routine. He's more a creature of habit, they feel, than John Reinecker, so they wanted Gabbard to go game 1. I thought that was an interesting thing.
That was interesting. I'm not sure exactly what Kaysen's routine is, but it makes sense if one guy does have a very strict routine that he likes to stay with when he pitches. It's a lot easier to do that in the first game of the doubleheader. You don't know how long the first game is going to last. It's tough, I guess, to have the exact routine for the second game. But I liked Ron's comments on John Reinecker. Says he doesn't care, just give him the ball and tell him to go out there and pitch, and he'll go out and do it. That's kind of the way John is, I guess.
Bird takes strike 3. There are the 2 high school buddies right there, Case and Gabbard and Jared Saltalamacchia. There is strike 3 to Marlon Bird. Kind of came back a little bit.
Well, that's a nasty pitch. Marlon thought it was outside the way he's looking at it. We can't tell from our angle. If it is a strike, it was a perfect strike right on the corner.
Now the battle of the behemoths. Cabrera against Botts. You got 6'9", what did we say, what do they list Cabrera at now? 259, something like that?
Got to be somewhere around there.
269. 6'9", 269. Against 6'6", 240.
If you add them both up, it doesn't look like there's an ounce of fat on either one of them.
No, this is not like Sid Fernandez against Mark Parent or anything. And Botts is going to take one into left field, a base hit. Well, Jason now 2 for 3, and as we talked about at the top of the broadcast tonight, Tom, it's a long lingering look here at what Jason can bring to the table. We've seen an infield hit, and now we've seen an opposite field single.
Yeah, he deserves the opportunity because of the way he's played in the minor leagues. Last year he had a very good minor league season. This year he had a tremendous offensive season in the minor leagues. And based on that, the only thing you can do is give him a chance to play in the big leagues and get an idea if those minor league numbers translated all to the big league level. You can get every sabermetrician and every scout, and you can come up with all the different opinions, and they're all valid. Everybody's got a solid opinion, but you don't really know for sure until you go out and play. Glad Jason's getting the opportunity. I think when it's all over and done with, he'll have 150, 200 at bats. Might not be the definitive answer, but it'll be a lot more information than you would have had he not gotten this chance to play every day.
Botts has become a very popular teammate. Got a great attitude.
He does. He's got a real nice way about him.
Outside to Nelly Cruz. Now, if you're just joining us, if you're just getting home from work, The Rangers were trailing this game 3-0, and then Botts with an infield single was kind of the catalyst for a huge fourth inning. Rangers batted around against Daniel Cabrera. They forced Cabrera to throw 36 pitches in that inning. Now it's Cabrera against the former Brewers prospect Nelson Cruz. And did he go? He did.
The home plate umpire called it. Nelly wanted the first base umpire to check him off and say, no, he didn't.
That was not going to happen, unfortunately.
I don't think he went. I think Nelly was right. I think he checked it in time.
I mentioned Nelly is a former Brewer. And the Brewers and the Cubs, Tom, they are now tied for first in the Central. The Cardinals are lurking. They're just 2 back in the loss column. Murphy sends one down the left field line. You got, one thing about.
You know what? The Cardinals are lurking. You know who the biggest lurker is?
The chief lurker?
Chief lurker.
All right, hang on. National League?
No, not in the big league. This is not a big league team or a big league player.
Just who's all
but
about
he
lurking?
He is known as the lurker.
The lurker.
You may not know him well enough to know this.
Who's the lurker?
Richard Price, the umpire attendant back in Texas, is the
Hoggy?
Hoggy is the he is the official lurker.
No, why is that?
He calls himself the lurker.
The lurker?
Yeah. He's just like lurking in the shadows.
Like, hey, good lurker?
Yes, just like that. Oh boy. My son Ben named his fantasy team the Lurkers after Hoggy. That's how much he likes him.
One who lurks. I guess that would make you a lurker.
Yep.
Tejada takes care of this one off the bat of Murphy. And we will now work ahead to the bottom of the 5th, where it's going to be 9-1-2 in the order coming up. A 5-3 score here in game 1. Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and by Aflac Insurance. Halfway through game 1 of a doubleheader, meaning, Tom, we're a quarter of the way done talking tonight. So
we're just getting warmed up.
You're just telling stories about a guy with 2 nicknames a moment ago.
Hoggy the Lurker.
Richard Price, known as Hoggy and the Lurker.
Both my kids had the incredible opportunity to be bat boys before they made it a necessity for bat boys to be 16 or 18 or whatever, when the kids had a chance to be the bat boys. And they used to spend a lot of time in the clubhouse, and Hoggy turned out to be one of their all-time favorites. Boy, they'd come home every night and be telling stories about what Hoggy called them, or the joke he pulled on him, or what he did.
Guys used to go by nicknames not too long ago in baseball. According to the Baseball Encyclopedia, Tom, there are 175 major leaguers that went by Lefty. There were 138 Reds, 67 Docs, 59 guys named Dutch, and at least a couple of Pee-wees. There was Pee-wee Reese, whose real name was Harold, by the way. But you don't see a lot of Docs and Pee-wees and Dutches and Hoggies and Lurkers in your game program anymore.
No, it's too bad.
That one's down. And nowadays you just kind of shorten the name and add a Y, I guess, is kind of the big thing. Saltalamacchia is Salty.
Salty's a good nickname, though, even though it is just a take on his name. Still like it.
Jason Botts is Botsy. Jay Payton sends one deep into left center field. Murphy called off by Bird, who was not nicknamed Birdie.
Yeah, but for instance, Clay Armstrong.
Yeah, who's our director.
The big Galoot.
See, that's an old
Clay
school
was a
nickname.
baseball player. Galoot would be a great nickname for a ball player.
The 1901 Cubs had the following players on it. You ready? They had Cupid Childs, Topsy Hartzell, Jocko Menifee, Cozy Dolan, and I kid you not, Long Tom Hughes. Not going to ask you if anybody ever called you Long Tom.
Long Tom?
No. Long time, maybe. But 1-0 the count to Brian Roberts. The Robinator takes outside 1-1. Wow, look out.
That's as late as you can swing at a ball right there. He took that ball right out of the catcher's glove to foul it where he fouled that ball. Usually it's a check swing that goes over there. He literally hit that ball behind him. He doesn't even know where it went.
He's like, oops. Sorry about that, Chief.
Have some pretty good back control to do that.
And now, well, right up the middle, yeah.
He's a good hitter, boy. Good ball player.
He looks like a ball player.
Yeah, he does. That's exactly what he looks like. He looks like a ball player. He's a 300 hitter. He's a good defensive player. He can run. Everything that you want done in a game, he can do for you.
He is the son of a college coach. And yep, one of those guys that plays the game the right way. I think when Dave Tremblay, the newly named full-time manager of the Orioles, talks about playing the game the right way, that's what he's all about. I would think his poster child probably would be Brian Roberts.
Well, if someone told you were going to take over a team and you had no idea what the team was, and they said to you, well, all I can tell you is your leadoff hitter is going to be Brian Roberts, you'd say, good. I'm glad the way we're starting right now. I got a guy that can play defense. I got a guy with a big on-base percentage who can run. I'll take that.
Patterson up into foul ground for Vasquez, and on the move, Ramona's got it. I don't think Dave Tremblay's the first manager to put this out there, but Tremblay says he's got a 3-sentence mantra. It's be on time, be professional, and respect the game. And Brian Roberts sounds like he's pretty much 3 for 3.
Yeah, he requires all the guys on the team to be 3 for 3. The other day, in that article you were talking about, Josh, they talked about Miguel Tejada. He'd had a big workout before he came off the disabled list, I guess, and asked, hey, look, I've already done all my work. Can I skip stretching? And Tremblay said, nope. Everybody stretches. It's a team deal. And Miguel said, okay, fine. I respect that. Sounded like Miguel actually liked the idea that everybody got treated the same.
That one's down to Nick Markakis. Well, Dave Tremblay, we've talked about it. I mean, he was at first, he was a teacher. And he said when he took the gig on an interim basis, we're going to take infield every night. We're going to be fundamentally as perfect as we can be.
Well, we were here for the first game before it rained, and they were taking infield practice. They don't take it at the same time. Teams used to take it after batting practice right before the game. Each team would take it for 10 minutes, and fans got to watch it. No team does that anymore.
I used to love that, though.
Yeah, I did too. The Orioles were doing it earlier in the day, right before their batting practice. So if you were out here early, you got to watch them do it. And they did it with some enthusiasm too. They weren't just going through the motions.
Dave Tremblay, who taught in inner city LA, taught in Compton. He said if you remember the TV show The White Shadow, he said I was the original White Shadow. Ken Reeves followed me. Ground ball to second. Kinsler taking care of Markakis, and Kaysen Gabbard, 5 innings, has the lead. Time now for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. Jackpot has swelled to $700 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for 2 at Sonic. Good luck to Lisa Saz of Grand Prairie. If a Ranger hits Grand Slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. The Rangers leading game 1 here in Baltimore 5-3. Daniel Cabrera continues on the mound, and Saltalamacchia is down 0-2. You can barely fit Saltalamacchia on the back of a jersey. You cannot fit it on a scoreboard here, apparently. Looking out there, it is Saltalamac. Fastball down too low, 1-2. Jarrett had a bases loaded 2 RBI single in the 4th inning. And now he's going to hit one pretty well in the left center field. All the way back, this ball gone. Saltalamacchia. Opposite field, and it's now 6-3. And a sonic slam winner, too. 4 home runs as a Brave, and now 3 as a Ranger. A little bit of a glimpse of the future there, huh?
Very nice. Hit that ball close to 400 feet to left center field. That's going to be it. Tremblay's on his way to the mound. But he turned around, an inside fastball, low, drilled it. Patterson went after it, couldn't get it though, into the Oriole bullpen. Good game for Salty's. Knocked in 3. Ramon's knocked in 3 right behind him.
Yeah, the Rangers have all the runs batted in from the bottom 2 slots in the order. That's it for the big guy, Cabrera. He walked only 1, but he allows 9 hits and 6 runs. We'll come back and tell you about the new pitcher in a moment. Saltalamacchia has made it 6-3. Rangers leading game 1 6-3. And folks, on Thursdays you can come quench your thirst at the ballpark at reduced prices on 12-ounce soft drinks and draft beer. 972 Rangers the number to call. Don't forget, tomorrow is a Thursday. Rangers are home against Seattle. 7:35 first pitch. 972 Rangers the number to call to get your tickets. Now Daniel Cabrera is gone after 5+. The lefty Brian Burris takes over. And immediately Vasquez shooting one that parachutes into right field. So you've got Saltalamacchia and Vasquez, 4 for their last 4, and they have driven in 6 runs. And Ramon, who had been 5 for 49, now 2 for his last 2. Saltalamacchia, who had been struggling, also 2 for his last 2. There are the numbers on the Clackamas, Oregon native Brian Burris.
The what?
Clackamas, Oregon. Catalanato will take, and that's a strike. Talking about the Mariners in town tomorrow at 7:35. Same 2 teams Friday night. That's the back-to-school backpack night sponsored by Dr. Pepper. First 7,000 kids 13 and under. Ball getting away on that bunt attempt. That works better than the bunt. Catalanato doesn't have to give himself up, and Vasquez is down there at second base.
Let's see whether that was ruled a pass ball. Nope, that's a wild pitch. It was a blockable ball though. Tried to catch it instead of block it, but anytime the ball bounces, it'll be a wild pitch, so that's what it was.
We're talking about that Friday game, Tom. One of the other cool things that night, that's the night the Rangers' wives are selling those mystery baseballs behind home plate. $50.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it benefits Safe Haven and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation, but essentially you put down your 50, you get a signed baseball by a Texas Ranger. You just don't know who it is till you open the box. You might get it.
Goes to a great cause.
Yep.
Too.
You might get a Nolan Ryan. You might get a Michael Young. You might get a Catalanato. It's a mystery. That's why they call it the mystery ball. Cat still married to the bunt, at least for now. 2-1. Now Saturday night, that's the night that Mercy Me is performing the pregame concert out on the patio at the ballpark. Concert at 5:30, game at 7:35. Your ticket for the concert is also a ticket to the game, and vice versa. Sunday's a 7:35 game. There's a day off on Monday. Then Tuesday against the White Sox, it is a $2 T-shirt Tuesday. Get the Royal Blue Rangers T-shirt. Well, Cat draws a walk, and the Orioles, as a collective, are not pitching real well over the middle third of the ballgame.
It's kind of a weird stretch for Cabrera. You go back to the 24th of July. He had an excellent game against Tampa Bay. Then he got hit hard by the Yankees. Another great game against Tampa Bay. Got bombed by Seattle. Good game against the Yankees, and now he got bombed today. So it's every other start, the last 6 starts for him, really good or really bad. Good day for the Ranger hitters, though. And In spite of the fact that maybe it wasn't Cabrera's best day, the guy's still throwing 96 miles an hour with a nasty slider. Rangers had a good offensive day against him.
Kinsler up there showing bunt himself the first time. Ian would love to get that batting average back up into the 250s, but boy, you look at the homers, you look at the steals, the glory stats. He's got a chance to be a 20-20 guy this year. Very good chance. 15 homers right now. He is 16 for 16 stealing bases. What do you think Ian has first, a 30 steal season or a 30 homer season in his major league career?
It's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'd have to go with 30 steals.
I think someday, I mean, it looked like it might have been this year, the 30 home run power might be there. He had 9 by April 29th.
Yeah, I think you can look at Ian's season and look at the overall numbers and say that he's really just beginning to scratch the surface of what he's capable of doing.
Well, there's a bunt, and they go to third base with it. A tag at third base by Mora. They got him.
And Mora had to tag him because he couldn't find the bag. He was backpedaling to get to the bag. He was afraid he'd keep backpedaling and miss the bag, so he just reached down and made the tag.
Well, the Rangers, who have been bunting well all season, that one bunted a little bit too strong.
I think as the years go by for Ian, his average will go up. He'll probably walk a little bit more, get on base a little bit more, and that'll give him more opportunities to steal.
Young with a smash into left field. That's down for a base hit. The Rangers will have him loaded up here in the Sonic Slam inning. We've already given Lisa Saz $700 off the Jared Saltalamacchia home run. Do we dare suggest that maybe 25G would be added to that?
Yep, I think we dare.
Okie doke. Dare.
Just got to get word to Marlin so he's not just going for a base hit and a couple of runs. He's got to go for it right here.
All right, Marlin, right over the Bud Light sign in left center, please. Right over the 364 sign. Going to take a strike on the inside corner. We're talking about 20-20 seasons. Tom, Marlon Byrd came close to a 30-30 season in the minors not too long ago. Had the steals. He missed by a couple of jacks. Towards the Bud Light sign. There she goes. Thank you, Marlon.
Hello.
Grand slam.
We got the word down to him by telepathy.
That's some good karma.
25 grand.
Wow.
25. Does she get the 700?
Sure, why not?
25-7.
$25,700, Lisa. Congratulations. And Marlon Byrd. It is 10-3 Texas.
Nothing better than a grand slam for the home team, especially when you can tack 25 grand onto it.
I'm just really sorry he couldn't straighten it out and actually get it over that Bud Light sign. He missed by about
close.
10 feet.
No, that's close enough.
That's a pretty swing.
Well, that's a big turnaround in this game. Through 3 innings, it was 3-0. Now Rangers scored 2 5-run innings.
Third career slam for Marlon Byrd. Well, the Rangers have dropped a pair of 5s here in the middle innings on the Orioles. A 384-foot homer for Marlon. And Lisa Saz, her phone is ringing off the hook, I guarantee it, in Grand Prairie. Probably just getting home from work, right? Hello.
Probably just got her credit card bill.
Right.
God, I can't believe I spent this much money this month.
My day is terrible. Ring. Hello. What? I won $25,700.
You know that credit card bill? You got it covered.
Botts takes a strike and down he goes. Out number 2. Well, all of a sudden the Rangers just raining home runs around Baltimore. 3-run shot for Vasquez, a solo from Saltalamacchia, and the slam for Marlon Byrd. There's a rip and a miss by Nelson Cruz. Sixth home run this season as a Ranger for Marlon. He had 4 down at AAA as well. You know, Marlon, one of the guys who was really battling with Bedard yesterday too. Marlon was one of only 2 Rangers that did not strike out against the Orioles starter yesterday. Kinsler the other. As hard as he works, as much as he smiles, you like to see the hard work and the good attitude rewarded. Cruz with the bouncing ball near third. Mora vacuums it up, and his throw was kind of lofted over there. He got to get it over there a little quicker than that to get Nelly Cruz.
Probably going to be an infield hit, I would think. Oh, I don't think he had a good grip on that ball. He had it gripped in the palm of his hand. Sailed on him. Might have beat it out anyway.
It is a base hit.
Yep. I think he would have beat it out anyway.
So now David Murphy with 2 out. He's going to line one foul back in the crowd. We're due to catch us a foul ball on this doubleheader, I think, Tag.
Got a pretty good seat for it.
Very good seat to get foul balls here.
Left-hand hitter.
Hernandez was set up outside, and the pitch did go outside but too high. Case and Gabbard, you've been staked to a 10-3 lead. And Murphy now belts one into center field. Well, the Brian Burris performance isn't exactly one for the books quite yet.
2 hits for David. That one hard too, off a lefty. Nice line shot to right center field. Pitch out over the plate. Nice sweet swing and a line shot.
John Reineker's got to be sitting in the clubhouse watching this game going, fellas, slow down. Save some of these for when I'm pitching. Game 2 is Reineker against Garrett Olson tonight. What a crazy game baseball is, Tom. The Rangers had 10 runs in their last 5 games. Now they've got 10 runs in their last 3 innings.
Not over yet.
Salty got the wrong helmet.
Must have gone up there with his left-hand hitting helmet.
Whoops. Well, there was a right-handed starter in the game earlier. he's waving at Gary Bettis, first base coach.
Minor leagues, you don't have to worry about it because you've got a flap on both sides. Big leagues, you have to have 2 helmets if you're a switch hitter.
Gary's over there, the Rangers first base coach, talking to the first base umpire, Bob Davidson. Like, you believe this guy? There's a foul by Salty.
That flap on the right side is not going to do you much good. That's better.
Okay. Well, the Rangers have 14 hits already. They had 1 once through the order. Saltalamacchia, who started the inning with a home run, going to send one out of play. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Minnesota 8-4 over Seattle with a 7-run first inning. Michael Kadire part of that with a home run. He's the guy that beat the Rangers with a home run Sunday, 1-0. Saltalamacchia sends one into left field. And the Rangers just add some more damage here. A 6-run inning. Saltalamacchia 2 hits in the inning. He had 1 as a lefty, 1 as a righty. And the Rangers about to send an 11th man to the plate in the inning. They are leading 11-3. Vasquez, who had a 3-run homer back in the 4th and also has a hit this inning.
Had 3 hits for Saltalamacchia as well. 4 runs knocked in to go along with it.
Seven hits from the bottom third of the Ranger batting order, and all of them over the last 3 innings. Murphy 2 for 3. Saltalamacchia 3 for 3, and so far Vasquez 2 for 2. Fouled out of play.
Good bat, man, a contract.
That's your best Rex Barney right there. Thank you. Rex loved talking baseball before the game, too. That one's up too high. Boy, for the fans just coming in, not aware that this was a doubleheader, well, they're thinking, all right, we're about to get here and see this 7:05 game that it says on my ticket. Why? 11-3 Rangers.
I'm going to turn around, go out to dinner, and come back for the second game.
Now, the Rangers have had 2 long innings inflicted on Baltimore. Vasquez fighting it up and over Tejada. Another run coming in. Throw sizzling towards third. And there is Vasquez with his 3rd straight hit. He's got 4 runs batted in. It's a 7-run inning. And it's 12-3.
Both Vasquez and Saltalamacchia have 3 hits and 4 runs knocked in.
Boy, Burris has allowed in 2/3 of an inning what Cabrera allowed in 5 innings. 6 runs. And the 12th man to bat this inning is Catalanato.
And Dave Trombley didn't want to warm somebody up because he doesn't want to use his whole bullpen in the first game of a doubleheader. But Rob Bell's going to have to get loosened up now. Burris is just really struggling to get anybody out right now.
Catalanato to left field. It's down for another base hit. The throw coming in from Payton's going to be offline. It's 8 in the 6th inning. This is just getting silly. Cruz with an infield hit. Murphy a hit. Saltalamacchia a hit. Vasquez a hit. Catalanato a hit. They've all been singles since the grand slam by Bird.
5 straight singles. That one's hit off the end of the bat. And feel kind of bad for Brian Burris coming in a relief role. He's going to have to be relieved in the same inning. Be the 3rd pitcher here in the 6th inning.
Well, the Rangers and Orioles have a history of big innings. Remember the 16-run inning that the Rangers put on the Orioles back in Arlington a little more than 10 years ago. They're halfway to that with an 8-run 6th, and they're leading game 1 13-3. 13-3. Wow. Rangers have 8 in the top of the 6th, and we invite you to join the Rangers on a 4-night Carnival cruise in November from Galveston with a stop down in Mexico. Jim Sundberg, Mark McLemore, Pete O'Brien, other Rangers alums joining you on board. Compliments of Health Markets. Go to TexasRangers.com for more information. All right, former Ranger Rob Bell is on the mound pitching, and Ian Kinsler at the plate. Brian Burris, who is still responsible for a couple of runners here. He was allowed 7 of these 8 runs in the 6th inning. Kinsler, who bunted into a fielder's choice. That's the other weird thing about this inning. He had a bunt that didn't go well. Kind of an automatic out. Still got 8 runs on the board. Kinsler's the 13th man to hit in the inning. It's 2 on, 2 out, 8 in. We've had a Sonic Slam $25,000 winner in this inning. And Kinsler in a 1 for 21 right now. This is trying to join the hit parade. Fouls it, 2 and 2.
It's been a long inning to wait for Case and Gabbard.
Boy, no doubt. This game was speeding along for the first 3 innings, but
if this were Japan, he'd be out in front of the dugout throwing. That's what their pitchers do between innings. If it lasts even a little bit too long, they just go out and start throwing.
3 and 2 with Michael Young on deck. Now we've already given away $25,700 to Lisa Saz of Grand Prairie in this inning because of a solo home run and a grand slam. What if Kinsler walks here and then Michael Young comes up and we just break the bank?
I'm all for it. It's not my money.
Runners will get going on 3 and 2. And a little looper towards center field. It's going to drop. It's another Ranger hit.
Doesn't load the bases, though.
No, well,
still got to work on that.
Try not to sound so disappointed. It's 14 to 3. How about if Young walks and then Bird could come up and do a Fernando Tatis and hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning?
That'll work.
The Rangers now, since the Bott strikeout, that is 6 2-out singles in a row.
Well, it hadn't been ropes either.
No. You're seeing the 2002 Angels right here. And you are seeing a massacre here in Baltimore. Young will send it into right field, and that should stop the music. A 9-run top of the 6th. It started with a simple little solo oppo by Saltalamacchia, but then the grand slam by Bird. And more carnage after that. It is 14 to 3. That score is correct. It is 14 to 3. Rangers in game 1 of our doubleheader. Our Ford leaderboard kind of interesting today, Tom. The Rawlings all-time Gold Glove team was named today. We'll get back to this a little bit later on, really in depth. I think the one big surprise on there, Wes Parker at first base. He was an outstanding gloveman, no doubt about it. But
yeah, there's a lot of deserving guys on there for sure. Pretty tough to pick that team.
We'll get you back and break it down in just a little bit. We got a lot to break down, though, coming off a 9-run top of the 6th. And Case and Gabbard, you can figure that he might be a shade rusty. He was sitting down for about half an hour there as the Rangers were sending 14 men to the plate. It is 2-0 to Tejada. It is 3-0 to Tejada. That one catching the inside corner. Gabbard's already pitched the requisite 5 innings to get credit for a win. Now he's just got to not give up a 14 to 3 lead. Now he's going to walk Tejada. How does Rangers beat writer Evan Grant feel about all this? He's being interviewed currently on Orioles television.
Judging by that blushing forehead, I think he's feeling pretty good about it.
Now, if you were being interviewed by Jim Knox, do you think he'd also be blushing or not so much?
No. I think it has to do with a pretty young girl.
Did we ever actually set Evan up for the win a date with Evan contest? Did anything ever come of that?
I haven't heard lately, but I think Evan was pretty happy with some of the prospects. I'm not exactly sure how it turned out.
Evan's not the kind to kiss and tell.
No, he's not talking.
Some would say he's not the kind to kiss. No, I'm kidding, Evan. I'm kidding. We love Evan. And Kevin Millar has been kept off the bases in this game. That's kind of breaking news. "47 games in a row Kevin Millar has gotten on somehow. Gonna foul this one back towards the interview area, but a fan reaches out, makes a nice catch. Back to Gabbard. Ooh, he's got to go and retrieve it. Possibility for a double play yet again, but not unless you field the ball cleanly. Melvin Mora comes up next. And by the way, Tom, closing the book on Brian Burris, who just had a nightmare in the top of the 6th inning. 2/3 of an inning, 8 earned runs. So his ERA tonight is 108. And his season ERA in 1 inning goes from 4.4 to 5.3. Poor guy. Mora's got to step out of the way. Gabbard at 78 pitches. And his fellow Royal Palm High School buddy, Saltalamacchia, out there to chat with him. Two most famous graduates, by the way, I looked it up, Tom, from that school district are not those two guys. They are in no particular order. Burt Reynolds and George Hamilton.
Wow.
I'm just going on the assumption that more people have heard of Burt Reynolds than Case and Gabbard.
Well, 10 years from now, when Case and Gabbard and Jared Saltalamacchia are like 5-time All-Stars. Rangers have been to the World Series. Burt Reynolds hasn't made any movies.
Right.
Maybe it'll change. Right now, you're probably right.
Smokey and the Bandit will be out on Blu-ray high def. You can, remember who Burt was.
Burt Reynolds, who's that? Oh, you know, the guy in Smokey and the Bandit. Oh, that guy, that's Burt Reynolds?
Just showing off. Your kids had to have loved that movie.
Oh, they did. I liked it, too. I liked it just because of how hard they were laughing at it.
1-2 to Mora, getting away from Saltalamacchia, rolling towards the dugout. Now the wild pitch. We have Mora along.
That bounced right on top of home plate. Boink.
Down that 9-run inning for the Rangers. That's their biggest inning of the year. They've got 18 hits already in this game. And I guess 17 of them over the last 4 innings. Every Ranger has at least 2 hits in this game except for Bird and Cruz. Bird, his 1 hit was a grand slam. Everybody else has at least 2 hits. Saltalamacchia and Vasquez have 3.
Yeah, and Marlin also walked and scored a run, too.
The Rangers have 3 players with 4 runs batted in. Bird on the grand slam. Saltalamacchia from number 8 in the order, and Vasquez from number 9 in the order. Mora clips it, yep, right in the glove of Saltalamacchia for out number 2. Now keep in mind it was at the 5 2/3 innings mark a couple of starts ago where Kaysen let it slip a little bit. It was at 6 2/3 last time. I think this right here is where you just want to keep pounding away here. You've had an 11-run lead. Your manager would love it if you can pitch 7, save the bullpen for game 2. Well, the Orioles, they're blown up. I mean, no more Burris tonight. Rob Bell's going to pitch for a while now. So if they need a long reliever in game 2, they've pretty much maxed out their 2 guys they have in that role.
Cason's had 4 starts as a Ranger in July with a .320 earned run average. Got a chance for another quality start today. One of the runs was unearned.
Ooh, that one up over the head of House.
And the other 2 runs might have been prevented. Ian bobbled a ball that could have been a double play, got the out at first base, so they're earned runs. But it might have been a double play. Corey Patterson was running, so it might not have been a double play. But another solid outing for Kaysen. Exactly what the Rangers thought they were getting, just what they hoped they were getting. He's delivered.
See where a couple of scouts have described him as a Jimmy Key, budding Jimmy Key. I think the Rangers would be thrilled with that.
I guess so.
Into the hole and stopped by Vasquez. He's going to get up and wing it to first. He got him. Boy, have a night, Ramon Vasquez. Got a 3-run home run. Got 3 hits, 4 runs batted in, and now he just did that to J.R. House. End of 6. And in game 1, it's the Rangers by 11. Texas Ranger baseball on FSN Southwest, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. This is game 1 of our doubleheader. The Rangers are feasting on the team they call the Birds, due in large measure to a guy we call Bird. Marlon Byrd with a grand slam, the highlight of a 9-run top of the 6th inning. Now the Rangers really working over Daniel Cabrera and then Brian Burris. They got 5 in the 4th and 9 in the 6th. And Kaysen Gabbard the beneficiary of all that. Byrd over to third, and Melvin Morris spins around, throws him out. Be pretty bizarre if the Rangers end up with 14 runs tonight, Tom, and will have scored in only 2 innings.
Yeah, it's unusual. 10 hits, 9 runs in 1 inning.
Yep. Coming up in just a bit, our Toyota truck game break. The 10 hits in the 6th inning tag, that ties a team record for most hits in an inning. They did that in 2001 in the 2nd inning against the Indians. You're going to say, wait a minute, didn't the Rangers have that 16-run inning against the Orioles? Well, yeah, I think they only had 8 hits in that inning. There were something like 8 walks, a hit batsman. Kevin Elster had the grand slam in that inning, as I recall. Served up by Manny Alexander. A little middle infielder on in relief. You see where Jeff Cirillo pitched in relief the other day?
Yeah, looked pretty good too.
It did look good.
I saw the highlight.
Botts is down on strikes. Kaysen Gabbard might be done for the night. Wes Littleton getting ready out there. Kaysen accepting congratulations. Looking exactly like Stifler from American Pie. And pitching very well too. Down near third, that is a foul ball.
And the ball girl let it go too. Good move.
Yep.
She wasn't sure whether it was fair or foul. She had to make her decision before the umpire made his.
Definitely better safe than sorry on that, right?
Yeah. She's not moving.
Nelson Cruz bashing one towards center. And that is that in the top of the 7th inning. Rangers got a 0 after they got a 9er in the top of the 6th. 14-3 in game 1 as we send it to our studio for the Toyota Truck Game Break.
Hey there, and welcome into the FSN studios. This is your Toyota Truck Game Break. I'm Emily Jones. We'll get you back to Baltimore in just a moment, but first we give you a few reasons to head out to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington over the next few days. The Rangers get back home tomorrow, and they are back for Thirsty Thursday night. $1 soft drinks and $3 beers is what you can find there. Then Friday, it's back to school backpack night. The first 7,000 kids ages 13 and under get a free backpack. Then Saturday, the Mercy Me pregame concert gets underway at 5:30. Sunday, it is $1 ice cream Sunday night, or Sunday day, as you might have it. Kids 13 and under get $1 ice cream Sundays. Don't forget those $29 seats that are all-you-can-eat seats are still available for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Contact the Rangers ticket office to get yours. Time now to get you back to Baltimore. Enjoy the rest of the game, everybody.
Tie between New York and Boston, obvious reasons, just the energy and the atmosphere and the passion of the people who are in those games and the history. And every time I'm on first, I think about the players who were there, and I'm kicking dirt at short. I think about the players who played there. You go to Boston, it's tough not to look in left field and think of Ted Williams and all these great players who've been there before me.
That was Michael Young, brought to you by Dodge, your Texas truck stop. That is definitely not Michael Young. That is somebody who is playing along with the Thank God I'm a Country Boy theme. Little John Denver here at the 7th inning stretch. Ramon Vasquez takes over for Michael Young. And Michael, who's been guarding against that sore back in a 14-3 ball game here. It is now Vasquez shifting from a third to short, and Travis Metcalf just called back up today. Gets into the game at third. So essentially Metcalf hitting in Young's spot in the order as Wes Littleton takes over on the mound. And we'll tell you more about Wes in just a sec. In fact, right now. Hernandez punching one to Kinsler, who's got it. Little looping line drive. Case and Gabbard going 6 innings and stake to that 14-3 lead. The Rangers with a 5-run 4th and a 9-run 6th. There is your game summary. Bird with the grand slam. Saltalamacchia has a home run and 4 runs batted in. Vasquez 3-run homer and 4 runs batted in overall. The bottom third of the Rangers order, Tom, is let's see here, 3, 6, 8 for their last 9 with 8 runs batted in.
That's pretty good production right there.
That's your bottom 2 dudes.
Oh, good game for Saltalamacchia. He swung the bat well. Had the home run left-handed, had a ball hit hard right-handed down the left field line.
Jay Payton pops out. Oh, good to see some smiles out there. A lot of things going right after the Rangers really got it just stuck to them by Johan Santana on Sunday and then by Eric Bedard yesterday.
Well, Cabrera is such, he's such a question mark. You don't know whether you're going to get shut out or have a day like this against him when the game starts. But going into the game, you definitely don't expect to have a game like this. Some of it came against him. A lot of it didn't, though.
That's a quick, easy inning. A 7-pitch 7th inning for Mr. Wes Littleton. And it's all good here in Charm City. Baltimore trailing Texas by 11. Folks, if you're ready to make the calls yourself as an amateur or professional umpire, this November, Major League Baseball offers a 1-week umpire camp at the MLB Youth Academy out in Compton, California. 8 Major League umpires with over 100 years combined experience will be taking you through all the what-to-dos. www.mlbuc.com for more information. Rob Bell continues on the mound. Well, some defensive changes to tell you about as we get going here in the top of the 8th. Game 1 of our double dip. 14-3 Rangers, and that is now a new look in the outfield all the way across the board. Freddie Bynum comes in the game to play left. We got Tyke Redmond in center field now, and Jay Payton shifts all the way over to right field from left field. So naturally we'll tell you about an infielder. Brian Roberts too late to get David Murphy.
David showing his nice speed that he's got. Beat that ball out. Most guys don't beat that ball out. 3 hits for David. He scored a couple of runs in the game. Continues to look good almost every time he plays. Does something good. And when you've got his kind of talent, you have a better chance to do something well because he plays good defense. He can throw, he can run, make solid contact. Looks like a good solid acquisition for the Rangers right there.
Boy, you know, you've already seen Kaysen Gabbard in this game and what he can do. That was kind of the headliner. Who's the guy that was furthest along into big league activity. But yeah, Murphy, remember, was a top 20 overall pick, first rounder.
He's got good talent. He's a definite big league player. And we don't know anything about the 17-year-old kid, Beltre. Supposedly he's got a ton of talent himself. It'll be a while before we ever see him in the big leagues, but that could turn out to be an excellent trade for the Rangers. It is an excellent trade, no matter what it turns out to be.
Well, the Rangers now with a season high 19 hits in game 1. Had 18 at Houston back in May. It's the 4th time this year they have scored 14 runs in a game. They have yet to get to 15 this year. And again, the bottom third of the order really coming through here. Murphy 3 hits, Saltalamacchia 3 hits, Vasquez on deck with 3 hits. Now there's a walk for Saltalamacchia. Vasquez coming up with a chance to do more damage. Already he's hit a 3-run home run. Our energy to take you anywhere. Brought to you by Valero. And Tom, for a guy that hadn't hit a home run, hadn't even hit a double in close to 50 at bats, that had to feel great.
Well, he had some good swings tonight. He also had a ball that was hit pretty well to center field, and at that time of the game the Rangers really weren't getting the head of the bat out on Cabrera very well. But Ramon jumped on it and it just didn't skim the top of the wall, went all the way over the fence out into the street.
Game 2, 2 lefties. John Reinecker against Garrett Olson. Rob Bell, a guy that used to pitch for the Rangers, has kind of bounced around since then. This is a guy that was a one-time prospect for the Atlanta Braves. Leo Mazzoni and Rob Bell are reunited, and they're hoping something clicks. Rob is now 30 years old. The Rangers gave him 15 starts in 2002 after he had 18 in 2001. And I think one of those guys, Tom, where you say, all right, we've given you 33 starts, your ERA is 7, and we got to go in another direction here. Line shot foul by Vasquez. Third-round pick of the Braves back in 1995, and with the Braves' eye for talent, the fact that they've had so many great pitchers come up through the ranks, I mean, I think they were kind of loath to simply give up on him, but he was traded to the Reds along with Denny Nagel. That was the Brett Boone deal in 1998. Then he got swung to the Rangers in the Ruben Mateo deal. Vasquez hits another one down the right field line. It's curling. It is going foul. He just missed another 3-run home run.
He's trying to knock in 10 like Garrett Anderson did last night. If that snuck off the foul pole, that'd be 7.
Wow.
A changeup, it looked like. He was just out in front of it enough to where he hooked it foul. Really wasn't close to being fair. Off the bat, it looked like it.
Boy, for a guy who had 2 runs batted in his last 27 games, this is a heck of a night. Gonna take outside. The fans are all lined up on top of the scoreboard out there in right field. He's going to take a walk, and they are loaded up. So again, the bottom third of the order. They were a combined 0 for 3 at the end of the 3rd inning. But somewhat incredibly since then, they've been up 12 times. They've been on base 11 times out of 12.
Yeah, David's pop up to shortstop's the only out they've made.
Former Ranger teammates and buddies here, a couple of native New Yorkers, Catalanato and Bell. Loaded up with nobody out, and Catalanato fouls one. Tigers just got a home run from Carlos Guillen in the 1st inning, leading Cleveland 3-1 in the 1st. Indians and Tigers going back and forth for 1st in the AL Central. Cat fouls one, and sounds like he broke his bat. Whoops. Did you read the story about the professional ball hawk guy named John Witt? Says if you take his class, and it's only $129, ball hawking 101, he will teach you how to catch a baseball at a Major League Baseball game.
Well, I tell you what, you can market anything.
This guy says he's caught 2,800 balls in Major League games.
I guarantee a part of that 129 is spent get to the game early and go in the right field seats for batting practice.
I think that's the very first lesson.
Plus, you probably got to spend a couple weeks in spring training, too.
There's another Ranger hit. One more run is scored. That's Murphy. You sound almost jaded now.
Makings of another one of those innings. Man.
It's a season high in runs and hits. And again, Reineker's just got to be throwing things right now in the clubhouse, thinking, guys, save it. I need some of this for game 2.
Well, you know, judging by the way Ron Washington described John Reineker and the way we know him, that is what most people would be doing.
Right.
Somehow I don't see John in there doing that. He probably doesn't even care.
Fouled away by Kinsler. He's probably in there watching American Idol right now.
Yeah. Go out and pitch his game.
Season high in runs, season high in hits, and the Rangers are not done. Well, the Orioles still have to get 6 outs in this game.
You know, you're talking about professional ball hawk.
Yeah.
The net man in any given night can end up with as many as a dozen baseballs.
Sure.
He gets there for batting practice, and every ball that goes down there foul down the line, he's got that net working.
Kinsler smokes one, but foul. And
the net man may be one of the guys your guy uses to illustrate how to get balls. Have a net.
well, there's one way to end up with one. Just kind of go first
That
row
won't
and hope
get
for
you
a liner.
2,000 that way, though. I think you got to go. You got to get the bulk of them in batting practice.
Well, this guy John Witt says he has 99 career Major League home run balls. So actually,
That's pretty
in game,
impressive.
yeah. Their work here is done. They
That's
got
what
their
we
foul
came
ball.
for.
They're leaving.
99 home run balls.
Kinsler down the line, and this ball narrowly misses. That was almost 19-3 right there, folks.
Where's this guy? He was watching at.
You got to go to Anaheim.
Anaheim.
If you want to take his class, he holds it. I have no idea if the Angels have signed off on this or not, but he's collecting money and teaching people at Angels games how to catch baseballs. There's a catch and release program there. That is the preferred methodology. Adult catches, hands to a kid. Kinsler to right field this time, and that's looking okay. No, it goes foul, and Kinsler has just missed down both lines in this at bat. If Rob Bell doesn't get this right, this has the makings of an infielder pitching.
Yeah, I don't know who their choice would be. Definitely not Roberts or Tejada. Millar, maybe.
I would say it's Millard.
Millar's got the personality to come in for it.
He'd do
probably campaign for it.
Remember what Mark Grace did that one time he pitched? He was out there doing the Mike Fetters imitation, just whipping the neck around. Boy, again, Kinsler sends a soaring drive, but foul. Rob Bell is not having a lot of luck getting him out. Still nobody out in the inning. And again, a liner. Just roped into the stands. Forget sending your money to John Witt. Just real quick get here to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Kinsler will find you. Guy's got a website, Tom. MajorLeagueBallHawk.com if you want more information.
Good for him. Yeah, he's probably one of the best at it.
Very industrious. There is something about catching a foul ball, though, at a big league game. We make the comments sometimes. You can go and buy a ball for $5, but you catch one off the bat of Ian Kinsler, that's just cool. A base hit to left. He finally straightened it out.
He had some good swings that at bat. Some of the balls he was swinging at were tough to keep fair, but Bell grooved that one. And he's lucky Ian didn't get up in the air because he hit that right on the screws. Smoked that ball into left field. 3 hits for Ian tonight.
Boy, when the Cowboys play the Ravens, we'll see if it gets up to 16-3. I mean, that was the way that at bat was unfolding. Tom, Bell might feel fortunate that that's all that happened. Just a little RBI single. Rangers are 11 for 16 with runners in scoring position in this game.
Well, the top of the order now, Catalanato and Kinsler in their last 4 at bats. Each at bat is an RBI single. They're starting to filter through the lineup now, not just the bottom.
Travis Metcalf's return to the big leagues. I mean, here's a guy just off the plane. And Rob Bell falls behind him 2-0. That Oriole bullpen is going to stir. Metcalf smokes it to left. This is incredible.
Unbelievable.
Another slam.
Well, that's right straight off the bus right there.
Woo!
Off the bus, off the bench. Man.
With the extra point pending, it is now 20-3. Welcome back to the big leagues, kid, and welcome to the first day on the job, Dave Tremblay. He just got the manager's gig full-time this afternoon. And I don't know if his mama told him there would be days like this.
That's now 4 guys in the lineup with 4 runs batted in.
Yeah, Metcalf started the day in Oklahoma.
We got a 5-run inning, a 6-run inning, and a 9-run inning. You know, this, I think we said at the beginning of this inning, this has the makings of another one of those innings.
Yeah, it does. A 5-run 4th, a 9-run 6th, a 6-run 8th, and there's nobody out in said 8th inning.
A bad game to come in relief for an Oriole.
Rangers get the 2 grand slams in one game. The Rangers and Orioles once played a game where there were 3 grand slams in one game at the old ballpark on 33rd Street.
Well, Travis is just getting warmed up for the second game. I'm sure he'll be in there the second game.
Well, if you could sprinkle just some of this around the rest of the month of August. The Rangers had 10 runs in their last 5 games. They have got 20 runs in their last 5 innings. Bird checks and takes outside. Looks like Paul Shuey getting up in the bullpen now. You know, a week and a half from now, it's not that big of a deal, I guess, to have a game like this if you're the Orioles. You got a second game of the doubleheader coming up. The rosters will have expanded, right? By September 1st, you got more pitchers than you know what to do with, and that's not as big of a problem. But this is a problem. They're down 20-3. Nobody out in the 8th inning. They've still got a whole second game to go.
There's still nobody out in this inning.
They got to get Rob Bell the heck out of there, don't they?
He doesn't want to, but he's going to have to.
All 7 men who have batted here in the 8th have reached. 6 of them have scored already. Look at Rob Bell's forearms, just caked in sweat on a cool night. That's got to be the clammy sweat of abject failure right there. That can't feel good at all. 36 pitches in this inning, no outs. Oh, that is tough to watch. That score is right, and we still got a whole second game to go. 20-3 Texas. Hey, welcome home from work, and glad you found the ball game. It is 20-3 Rangers in the top of the 8th in game 1 of a doubleheader. And we'll check out the upcoming schedule of games brought to you by Progressive. Game 2, John Reinecker against Garrett Olson. What do the Rangers do for an encore, huh? The Rangers heading home to take on the Mariners tomorrow. Tom, the Rangers have already set a record tonight for the most runs scored in a road game ever. The old record was 19 at the old stadium in Cleveland back in '86. They're getting very close to an all-time team record for hits in a game. That record is 23, done twice. They're at 22 right now. Nobody out. And here is Jason Botts, Paul Shuey, a well-traveled veteran, trying to mop up the mess here. You are seeing some big-time Ranger history being made right now. As we check out the numbers on Shuey, we can tell you this, Tom, there are 5 different Rangers in this game with 3 hits. Nobody's got 4, but 5 different guys with 3.
There's 4 guys with 4 RBIs.
Right, which I do believe is a Ranger record as well.
Been kind of tough going for Shuey this year. He's walked 18 batters in 22 innings.
Rip and a miss.
Was a time where it wasn't tough going for Shuey, though. He was a pretty good relief pitcher until he got hurt. He's a 95, 96 mile an hour guy with a nasty splitter.
Bouncing to the plate. Burris and Bell, the 2 relievers, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse than what Daniel Cabrera had to slog through. As Archie Bunker used to say, good night, nurse.
Cabrera looked like a Cy Young Award winner compared to the other ones. At least he got through 5 innings.
Well, it became painfully apparent that Rob Bell just didn't have a thing here in the 8th inning. It started with an infield single, and again, Tom, you know, the big inning back in the 4th, Marlon Byrd leading off with a borderline 3-2 pitch that he took for a walk, and that was just the first step. There's strike 3 called on Botts, and some derisive cheering here from the fans in Baltimore. Actually, a lot of derisive cheering from the fans in Baltimore.
When you get 20 runs and 22 hits, you've hit a lot of balls hard, and you've probably found a lot of holes with balls that weren't hit so hard. That was a borderline strike for sure. When you're as tall as Jason and your knees are that high, you would expect that to be called a ball low, but in this kind of a game, you just got to kind of suck it up and take it.
We'll see that kid with the rally hat on. That is the eternal optimist right there. They can come back from down 17 over the last 2 innings.
The Rangers will have batted around twice in 3 innings.
I was just going back and looking up that game, Tom, where the Rangers had scored 19 on the road. That's the old record at old Cleveland Stadium. 1986. It was Oddibe McDowell leading off in that game. But the big gun in the game, it was the Whimperoo. Mr. Pachorik had 5 hits in that game. Toby Harrah had 4 runs batted in.
What year was that?
That was 86.
86.
Rangers 19, Indians 2.
If I remember right, you can look this up for me too. I think we got beat 2-1 the next.
Wow. Cruz will find the alley. And will the Rangers cash in yet another? Not yet. Don Wakamatsu plays the mercy card right here. He's going to hold the runner at third. And the Rangers tie a franchise record with a 23rd hit. And David Murphy will come up. That's 2 hits now for Cruz. I will look that up for you, because that will be the guard against, right, for game 2 of the doubleheader.
It was either 2-1 or 1-0. Either that or I'm just totally off.
Or you're just making stuff up.
I'm just making it up. Got a chance of being right. It'll look pretty good if I am.
No, you're close, actually. 3-2 Cleveland in extra innings.
3-2. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was a low-scoring game. I know we did have a game. It might not have been one of those huge games, but a 10-0 game, 11-0, and then came back and got shut out the next day. And I thought that was in Cleveland.
Well, the first year you and I were working together, the Rangers had a 20 or 21 run game. And then Derek Lowe came out and I think shut the Rangers out. Murphy off the glove of Robertson. Another run scores. So there's the extra point.
And there's 2 hits for David in this inning. 4 hits on the game.
Murphy, who had 4 doubles and a triple and only 1 single this year. He's just got 4 singles in this game. That's fine. A 5-run 4th, a 9-run 6th, and a 7-run 8th. How's that?
We still have 1 out this inning. That's the 10th batter to bat. There's still only 1 out. You hope for an inning like this maybe once a month, once every couple of months.
Well, you got 3 of them in one game.
3 of them in one game. 2 of them for sure. 5 is okay, but 9 and 7, great chance to make it 8.
That last hit, that's the new club record. 24 in a ball game. The Rangers started this game 1 for 9. What are they since then? 23 for what? Let's see if I can do the math real quick. Wow, they're 23 for 36. Whoa, Saltalamacchia sucks it to right. Goodbye. This is an absolute massacre. This is a team that struck out 17 times against Santana Sunday, 11 more against Bedard. You talk about busting out. This is an Xbox game come to life.
That's 7 knocked in for Saltalamacchia. Well, that pitch has to get hit right there.
How do you top a 5-run 4th? Well, with a 9-run 6th. How do you top a 9-run 6th? With a 10-run 8th.
That's unbelievable. 19 runs in 3 innings.
The Rangers have rattled off 24 unanswered runs in this game.
Well, it looked pretty good for Shuey. Came in and struck out the first hitter, but it hasn't gone well since then. Double, single, homer, every one of them has been hit hard. Cruz roped the double in the gap. David Murphy hit a line shot to right. And now Saltalamacchia, another blast to right field.
The whole Murphy, Salty, Vasquez thing, the bottom third of the order. Remember, they were over through 3 innings. They've been on base 14 out of 15 times since then.
And Murphy, Saltalamacchia has scored 5 runs in his last 5 at bats. Murphy, in his last 5 at bats, has scored 4 runs. I can't imagine the Rangers ever scored more than 5 runs in a game.
More derisive cheering.
Shuey's got a chance to strike out the side.
In a 10-run eighth.
That's the same pitch that struck out Jason Botts.
Boy, imagine how excited they'll be if they get back within 20 runs. Yeah, I mean, there are simply too many stats to run out there right now. It's just a treasure trove of records and would you believes.
That's for Greg Elkin to sort through after the game and come up with a little list.
Well, again, I mean, just off the top of your head, you're talking about Saltalamacchia, 5 runs and 7 ribeye. You're talking about a 2-homer game for Saltalamacchia.
We'll have to look up and see if a Ranger has ever had more than 7 runs batted in or scored more than 5 runs in a game.
Pudge has the RBI record. We know that with 9.
That's 9.
Remember that he had
There's
that.
The answer to that one. He has 9.
He had it, I think, in 2 or 3 innings out there in Seattle at the old Kingdome.
Yeah, I think those were like the first 4 innings of the game.
Right.
He had that first 5 innings, maybe.
No, this is now just teetered into silly. He strikes out the side. But oh, by the way, 10-run score in the top of the 8th. And you're witnessing a slice of history here with a second game still on deck. Saltalamacchia has arrived. It is 24-3. I know, try not to giggle. It's true. It's 24-3 Rangers here in the 8th inning. Tell you about Ozarka website Wednesdays. You can order half-price tickets online. Come sit in the stands with myself and Tag. Jim Knox will be stopping by next Wednesday. 972 Rangers is the number to call. There's a base hit by Tyke Redmond, the first thing that's gone right in quite some time for Baltimore. Getting that hit off Wes Littleton. Freddie Bynum will bat next. 24 runs on 25 hits for the Texas Rangers. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. And boy, how'd you like to be Dave Tremblay right now? You've finally realized a dream. You've been named the full-time manager this afternoon of a big league baseball club. Andy McPhail stood there at the press conference, said all kinds of nice things about you.
Yeah, he didn't pitch today.
No, there's a fielder's choice. Bynum reaching. But, you know, I mean, all the right things were said, and they're all assuredly still true. Dave Tremblay is the man who will lead us to greatness. Good things are about to happen. He's got to feel like Navin Johnson in The Jerk. Good things are going to start happening for me now. Well, it's 24-3 Texas. I do think good things are going to happen for this Baltimore franchise, Tag, but boy, this is a colossal embarrassment tonight.
This is just a fluke. This has nothing to do with reality.
No.
Nothing to do with Dave Tremblay. And the second game, once the second game starts, this game is just a thing of the past. This is just one loss. I mean, it's an amazing game to watch, but
it is just one game.
It's a total fluke. You don't see games like this. It's a fluke if this is the Yankees with 24 runs.
No, the Yankees lost to the Indians at home a couple years ago, 22-0.
They got beat 17-something yesterday.
Yeah. Tejada will drive it deep in the left center field, but that's kind of how it's going for the O's. Bird runs it down. Well, the Rangers, Tom, tonight, they've got 3 players who have had 2 hits in 1 inning tonight. Murphy in the 8th, Vasquez in the 6th. Saltalamacchia in the 6th, and he also had a hit and a walk in another inning. The Rangers started the game 1-4-9. They are 24 for 41 since then. 11 hits and 12 runs batted in and 12 runs scored from the bottom third of the order. Millar keeps his little streak going. He's been on base now in 48 games in a row, and he took that one down towards the bitter end. The first time he's been on base tonight. Catalinato 3 for 6, 2 runs batted in. Kinsler, same thing. Michael Young 2 for 5, and then lifted for Travis Metcalf. And what did Metcalf do? He stepped in and hit a grand slam in his only at bat. Bird's got a grand slam for his only hit. Botts 2 hits, Cruz 2 hits. Murphy has 4. Saltalamacchia has 4 with 7 runs batted in. And of course Vasquez, we mentioned, the big night at the very bottom of the order.
Yeah, the other thing you don't see very often in a game is someone with 7 plate appearances in a 9-inning game. Rangers are going to have more than one guy with that. They're going to have 3 guys at least. Catalinato already has 7 plate appearances.
And Tom, you would ask the question about most runs scored by an individual, and 5 is a Ranger record. Saltalamacchia is the 4th to get there. Most recently, Kevin Mensch did that in 04.
It'd be very unlikely for Saltalamacchia to hit again, but the way this game's going, I guess you never know.
I would have said at the top of the broadcast it'd be very unlikely against Daniel Cabrera the Rangers would score 24 runs by the top of the 8th inning.
They only scored 6 against him.
Oh, that's true. Burris and Bell had some major issues.
But if it was someone else, you wouldn't have been surprised. Just like Daniel Cabrera, you're surprised. Anybody else, yeah, 24 is no big deal.
Guy with good stuff, and the Rangers, I mean, let's face it, the Rangers have been creating some air conditioning lately. Been swinging and missing quite a bit. They're hitting everything in sight tonight. Chopped foul. Now again, for Saltalamacchia, that's got to feel great for him. He had only 5 runs batted in as a Ranger. He's been here a little more than 3.5 weeks now. He's got 7 in this one game. And what's going to show up for Case and Gabbard is on average, he gets the best run support as a Ranger now.
Yeah, that's why some of the stats can be kind of skewed when you look at averages. That won't have a whole lot of meaning. Plus, it's only his 5th start, too.
Right.
Could have got shut out 4 times and still had 5 runs per game support.
I guess the last thing to achieve for the Rangers, if you want to get greedy now, is the team record for runs in a game. They did that against these Orioles back in Arlington years ago. They had a 16-run 8th inning on the way to a 26-7 win. I think the amazing thing is they've scored the 24 runs and they've scored in only 3 innings. Got more zeros on there than anything else. But a 5-run 4th, a 9-run 6th, and a 10-run 8th. That is amazing. Well, now the Orioles have them loaded up. I still think the rally cap is kind of a stretch, but they do have the bases loaded and J.R. House coming up. Tom, we're told by the great Carla Janeway, who was great at tracking down the odd stats, we're told in the last 50 years, the only other time a team has had 4 players with 4 runs batted in a game, that was that wacky 23-22 game the Phillies and the Cubs played in 1979. The Phillies had Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, Gary Maddox, and Bob Boone get it done. Tonight, The Rangers have 4 from Bird, Metcalf, Vasquez. They have 7 from Saltalamacchia. And now with this first game all over but the shouting, we'd like to see Littleton just quickly move it along. Here's the other piece of wackiness in this game. Gabbard went 6 innings, right? Littleton pitches the final 3. He's going to save a 24-3 ball game.
Heck, he could give up 15 runs and get a save.
I think there were some that would say, Wes, just don't mess around now.
Would you like to be one of them?
I might be on that list. You're up 24.
There are some. Are you kind of saying like I am the one saying it?
I'm saying you got good stuff. You're up by 21. Go get them.
Well, there. So he did it.
All right. Thank you.
Go.
Thank you very little. The 9th inning awaits. Will the Rangers set a team record for runs scored? That is the only question. .24 for Texas. That's right. Team record 25 hits or close to the record for runs scored in a game. Rangers live after the game. Getting you ready for game 2 of our double dip. And the Orioles make all kinds of defensive changes now. Not that they'll really matter that much, you wouldn't figure. They're trailing by 21 runs, but J.R. House, who was the DH. Boy, they've lost their DH. Tom, what if it goes extra innings? What'll they do? House is now the catcher, and Hernandez now at first. As Kinsler takes here from Paul Shuey. Looks like Bynum has come in. It's like a spring training game now.
Bynum's playing short. Millar's playing left.
Yeah, Bynum at short, Millar in left. Payton still in right.
They've got 2 players that are playing the same place as they started. Roberts is still at second. Mora is still at third. Other than that, no one is where they started. Hello.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, here comes Metcalf, who homered last time. And the Rangers certainly not hurting for base runners. They get one right out of the chute here in the 9th inning. The team record for runs was established against these Orioles about 10 years ago. 26 in one game.
Dave Tremblay does not want to make another pitching change in this game.
Rangers trailed 3-0, believe it or not.
If the Rangers strike out this inning, they will have had 10 batters strike out in the game too.
Yeah, that's right. 2 homers from Saltalamacchia tonight. 1 from Vasquez, and he narrowly missed another. Marlon Byrd a grand slam. Travis Metcalf a grand slam. Now it's time to sort baseball cards and just move on.
Good part for all the fans is there's another one coming, and you can start over at 0-0.
No,
so
I mean
that's actually a good night to have a doubleheader.
Absolutely. I mean, seriously, it could be both teams win a ball game tonight. It could be 24-3 for the Rangers and 1-0 for the Orioles, as far as we know. Five in the 4th, 9 in the 6th, 10 in the 8th. And again, the Rangers had scored 10 runs total in 5 games before this one tonight. Another walk. Sosa hasn't even grabbed a bat in this game. The Rangers have 24 runs on 25 hits, and their leading RBI man is on the bench.
I have no idea how Garrett Olson will pitch in the second game, but opponents are hitting .342 against him, and he's walked 18 batters in 18 innings. So he's got a nice AAA record. He has not pitched well yet in the big leagues.
He's got the mighty Power Rangers coming up next.
That is their starter.
Marlon Byrd with the 6th inning grand slam in the Sonic Slam inning. We had a big $25,000 winner tonight from Grand Prairie. Lisa Saz, her name. I'm sure she's been informed by now. There's a bullet for a strike. Shuey still throws hard. I got the Orioles at 226 pitches thrown in this game right now. There's a foul by Byrd.
And Rick Reed's been back there for every one of them. He got the game off, though, in the second game, won't he?
Yes, the way they do that now, they have a 5th umpire on site who's enjoying this one in the relaxed comfort of the umpire's room right now.
And you have to think that he'll be the guy behind the plate in the second game.
Another base hit. This time it's Marlon Byrd, and again they play the mercy card over there. Wakamatsu holds Kinsler.
Yeah, normally that's a run batted in for Marlon Byrd, but in this kind of a game, you're just trying to get this game over with. You don't want to try to score more runs. You don't want to try to rub it in.
Yeah, but you might get a 3rd grand slam in the game right now by a Ranger.
Nothing you can do about that, but you don't have to try to score a man from second on a base hit to left, even though it does take an RBI away from Marlon Byrd. It would have been his 5th for the game. But they're zeroing in on that run record.
Yes, they are. They're 14 for 19 with runners in scoring position in this game. That's down too low to Botts. The Orioles have just had their club record tied for most hits allowed in a game.
I think those guys are wearing Ranger rally hats.
You mean they want 28 runs instead of 24?
I think it's just happened to them. Backfired on them.
Again, already 2 slams in this game. One from Byrd, one from Metcalf. Metcalf wasn't even in the state of Maryland as of noon today. Botts will cream one to right field. It is into the corner. And the Rangers will set a record here. They'll at least tie it for now with 2 runs in to make it 26-3. Still nobody out. And it is just 100% carnage here in Baltimore.
The amazing thing is it's the first game of a doubleheader. Good game for Jason Botts. He's got an unusual game. He's got 3 hits. He's knocked in 2 and he struck out 4 times. Try totaling that one up sometime. 3 for 7. A double, 2 singles, 2 knocked in, and 4 strikeouts.
We have good news and bad news for you, Jason.
Well, overall, you'll take a 3 for 7 with 2 knocked in and a double any night. Boy, there have been some pitchers that have been just left out there for as long as he possibly can. He's trying to get some innings out of the bullpen, but none of them can get him for him. Shuey's going to be out there no matter what happens. 4 straight base runners here and nobody out.
He might want to feign an arm injury like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack just to get the heck out. Ooh, my arm. Cruz golfing one appropriately enough. Don Wakamatsu is going to have to ice down that shoulder. He's been waving guys in all night.
Look at the numbers up in the 9th inning, runs and hits. That all runs together. You have no idea when you look up at it what it is. Double digits in the 9th inning would just really be.
Well, that would be a little too much.
I'd get your camera out and take a picture of that just to see what it looked like.
There's what you're talking about. I mean,
a lot of numbers jammed together there.
That just looks like a total mistake by somebody.
You can't really accuse the Rangers of rubbing anything in either.
No.
We've had some lean times last week with some of the pitchers we faced. Hitters have had some bad nights, but every now and then it all comes together. And it's one of the nights where it's all coming together.
Well, there's a couple of runs batted in sitting there for Cruz.
Shu's got a chance to give up 4 runs, bunch of walks, bunch of hits, and strike out 6 in 2 innings. All 4 outs that he's gotten have been strikeouts.
Well, this bottom third of the order, starting now with Murphy, has just been phenomenal tonight. They are a combined 11 for 16. Murphy hitting a cool .526 for the year now.
That's the 10th strikeout for Ranger hitters.
Good time.
Generally, you don't expect to have an offensive explosion like this and strike out 10 times.
Boy, Murphy gets out in front of one, lines it foul. Nice play in that first row.
Boy, if he caught that one, that was some kind of catch, because that ball was, oh, he's got a glove.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to see he brought a glove. He needed it on that rope. That made some happy kids right there.
They don't look like father and son at all, do they?
Not at all.
Little chopper, and that will get the Ranger record. The 27th run, and safe just to rub it in. David Murphy beats it out.
That's the 2nd ground ball to second base that David's beaten out. And, you know, if you're the umpire, you can't give him that if he's safe. It's not fair to the hitter. The hitter hit the ball, he ran it out, and you could say, oh, just get the game over, but that's not fair. If he beat it out, he should get a hit. You want to get him out, make the play quicker. 5 straight hits for David.
Yeah, it started with a called 3rd strike his night. Now Saltalamacchia, and we were joking earlier, Tom, that he was, you know, kind of doing the Garrett Anderson thing tonight. Garrett had 10 runs batted in late last night. Don't laugh, Saltalamacchia with a home run here would have a Garrett Anderson.
And that is the all-time Ranger record for runs, too.
And if Saltalamacchia happens to homer here.
About 2 nights in a row for a major league hitter with 10 runs.
Yeah, and you're going to have the first time you ever hear a Ranger announcer say, and it's 30-3.
Well, it's the first time anyone ever said 27-3 too. Might as well keep it going. What's the record for hits in an extra inning game?
By the Rangers?
Yeah.
It was the same. It was 23. Yep.
Okay.
To left field. And what do you think? Is it the Garrett Anderson? Not yet. That's foul ball.
Well, the last time 4 pitchers for one team gave up more than 6 runs or more in a game, 3 of them gave up 7 runs or more. And if this guy scores, 3 of them will have given up 8 runs. No, not 8. 2 of them gave up 8.
Now Saltalamacchia has to be happy with a 7 RBI night.
And there's 5 strikeouts. If he strikes out Vasquez, that's 6 strikeouts in 2 innings to go along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs.
6 runs. So 6 runs, 6 strikeouts in 2 innings. Yeah, she's had enough. Time to knit.
That'd be something. Give up 6 runs and strike out 6 in 2 innings.
Well, here's the other one that blows my mind, Tag. That the most common number on the board for the Rangers on that line score is 0. They've got 27 runs, but they've had 5 innings where they've had no runs. Vasquez to right field. You want to go for 30? You bet!
Even the fans are cheering now.
Uncle! 30 unanswered runs in Baltimore, Maryland.
I'll guarantee you that's the first time in the history of baseball that the 8th hitter and the 9th hitter each knocked in 7 runs. There's no way that's ever happened before. Unless you go back to the 1800s.
Sure, Dave Tremblay is thinking that's a jolly good idea. Just go back in time and forget this never happened. They say you never forget your first. And Dave Tremblay's first game As the full-time manager of the Baltimore Orioles, his team has set an American League record by giving up 30 runs in one game. The Rangers have established that record in a game where they were being shut out into the 4th inning. Now, you're going to be awfully glad you watched this ball game tonight, folks. You saw history.
They scored 25 runs in 4 innings.
Vasquez, who had no extra base hits in his last 50 trips to the plate, has a pair of 3-run homers tonight. And very simply, folks, we can't update fast enough all the records that are falling over the last half hour or so.
The Rangers have batted around in 3 of the last 4 innings.
That's going to be the 3rd walk of the inning.
Boy, how many pitches has Shuey thrown in 2 innings?
About 1,000,006.
It's got to be 60 pitches.
29 hits to get to 30 runs. 2 homers from the number 9 guy, 2 homers from the number 8 guy. They've each got, as you said, Tom, 7 runs batted in. And every cell phone is out now. Everybody's calling a buddy, calling a relative, saying, you won't believe this. Five in the 4th, 9 in the 6th, 10 in the 8th. So far, 6 in the 9th. And now Kinsler. What the heck? Into left center field. Nope. You didn't really want 32, did you?
62 pitches for him.
Wow. Well, Wes Littleton is going to get a chance to save it in a 30-3 ball game. The Rangers are, I've never said this before, the Rangers are up 27. Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Rangers. By Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Bold moves, Ford is the best in Texas. That looks like an Iowa zip code right there, 63029. 6 in the 9th to make it, 30 runs on 29 hits. This is the first of a doubleheader. Wes Littleton, a chance to pitch 3 innings and get the stupidest save in the history of Major League Baseball. But that's the rule, right? You go the last 3 innings of a game, you get a save.
Yep. .30 is the most runs scored in a ball game at the big league level since the turn of the 20th century. 29 runs achieved by the White Sox in '55, the Red Sox in 1950. The all-time record would be the 1897 Cubs. Actually, they were the Chicago Colts back then. Beat the Louisville Colonels 36-7. But the modern era record has fallen. Was 29. Hernandez fouls it. And, you know, one of the other little notes just kind of runs through your head here, Tag, that, you know, because this was a rescheduled doubleheader, a lot of folks figuring that, all right, you know, they're not really reading the paper. They show up around 7:30, figuring we're going to see a ball game. They show up, they walk in, it says 30-3, or at least at the time, probably 20-3 when they walked in. Two to Hernandez is outside, and you and I, I'm sure Tag will have, or everybody will have their own opinion on what the most amazing thing about tonight is. I stand by the fact that the Rangers have more zeros on the line score than any other number.
I'll go with the 8th and 9th hitters each knocked in 7 runs and hit 2 home runs apiece.
That's a great one too. Saltalamacchia and Vasquez are a combined 8 for their last 10 with 9 runs and 14 runs batted in. Another foul by Hernandez. Two different Rangers with 5 runs scored, Murphy and Saltalamacchia. Murphy, the only Ranger with 5 hits, and you know, they kind of lost in the shuffle tag. 2 of those were hustling infield hits. Hernandez down on strikes. West on in relief of Case and Gabbard. And yes, Gabbard had the requisite run support tonight. We talk about pouring it on. 30 unanswered runs. They were down 3-0 in the 4th inning were the Rangers. Grounded to short for Vasquez. Don't forget Rangers Live after the game. And that's coming up very soon. Assuming the Rangers can hold a 27-run lead, needing 1 out. Our Gatorade players of the game. Kind of what you're saying, Tag. The 8 and 9 guys. Anytime you combine for 14 runs batted in, you deserve to share the prize. Game 2 is John Reinecker against Garrett Olson.
That's the amazing thing. We got another game.
Yeah.
How can you follow this up with another game?
It's going to take the half an hour in between games just to sort everything out from game 1. The Orioles bullpen, Tom, 4 innings, 24 runs. But again, as we kind of keep saying, just to douse things a little bit, it's only 1 game. You can still split this doubleheader. Ground ball to short. And ladies and gentlemen, your final score in game 1. The Texas Rangers 30. The Baltimore Orioles 3. You have seen the new big league record set. Most runs scored in a ball game. Marlon Byrd among the Grand Slam artistes in the ball game, and in the words of the late great Jack Buck, Tag, I don't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, and I don't know that anyone would believe what they just saw after watching that game. 30 runs and 29 hits. 25 runs in the last 4 innings. 2 guys had grand slams. 2 guys knocked in 7 runs.
Well,
8 guys had at least 2 runs knocked in.
We'll let Buzz and John take you through the specifics of the carnage. That was fun to watch, wasn't it? For Tom Grieve, this is Josh Lewin. Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Rangers and O's begins 30 minutes from now. And again, Rangers Live post-game coverage coming up straight ahead. Your final in game 1. We'll take a deep breath before I say it here. The Texas Rangers 30 and the Baltimore Orioles 3.